Hello, everyone. Hello. I'm Trooper SJP, and this is the Academic Foxhole. How are you all doing? It's Thursday. I remembered. And you know, it's our Thursday Mac stream where we are playing Wandersong, which was one of the nominees for the 2019 Excellence in Narrative Award from the Independent Games Festival. And we have been playing this for just like, a couple sessions. Thanks, Skepinak. Thanks. We've only been playing it for a little bit, A Neo boxes. Oh, I do have news. It's not exciting news. I mean, it's exciting for me. It was less than 5 minutes, Krellin. I was like, I'm ready. Marissa says, you look surprisingly awake for someone who streamed for 9+ hours yesterday. We technically streamed for like 10 or 11 hours, something like that. It was something like that. It was one of those things. Scabinak says, I think Trooper gets energized by those prac streams. It's true. Look, I like to have like the conversations. Hey, Beetle Wins. Happy time zone to you. What did I want to tell you? Oh, I should just tell you. Note. I have not yet updated the calendar on the Twitch page, but I will do that in between now and after I finish this stream and before I start the Critical Role stream or during the Critical Role stream. Anyway, it's going to be updated today is what I'm trying to say. Is it possible you like talking to Prax too much? Only when the school year starts, right? That's like when the school year starts, then it will be a problem. Rissa says, at least a full workday's worth of streaming for me. It was good to have you and Prax in the background while I was working. Oh, that's good. I am glad. You enjoyed the military talk? Me too. I mean, of course, I will say, right, because she's a military brat, but her dad's Coast Guard. And like, I will just say, the Coast Guard is super hardcore. And I feel like people don't respect the Coast Guard because they wear shorts, but the Coast Guard is hardcore. They're off there in the middle, of the ocean in like really small boats, and there are drug runners with guns chasing them. You know what I mean? Like, they're hardcore. Krellin asks, aren't you only teaching like one class year this year? That is correct, because I have to spend the rest of my time writing and reading, but also I'm teaching one class in the fall, so coming up soon. I've got to finish the syllabus for that. But I'm also, because I'm part of this fellowship thing, there's more than one of us that got the fellowship this year, and so we're supposed to all be meeting once a week on Wednesdays for, to share our work with each other and all of that. So I'll be doing like a weekly thing on Wednesdays throughout the year, and then on Mondays I'll be doing my class for the fall. But other than that, I've got to be writing a lot. Scabinak says, I had a buddy in the Coast Guard in the early 2000s, and he told me stuff to get up to, helicopter door gunner. Yeah. And Barator says that Coasties are hardcore. The ones I met that rescued folks in the Bering Strait were wild. Yeah, right? Like, I mean, this is what I mean. They run off and they like rescue people in the middle of storms, in the middle of the ocean. They just do a lot of stuff. Yeah, it's like Deadliest Seas. Kuldrick is like, this Bering Straits is not exactly the Caribbean. It's like more like Deadliest Seas. Yeah, and they're in these like little tiny boats. They don't have like massive, huge boats. They don't have like aircraft carriers. You know what I mean? They've got these like little tiny boats. And like, can I tell you all something? Barentor would probably know. Barentor was Marine. I don't know if Sal is here right now. Sal would know. Sal was in the Navy. I was told by this guy I knew in the army who had been in the Navy. This guy was actually, when I knew him, when I was in the army with him, the army was the third military service he was in. He just kind of never wanted to not be. He started during the Vietnam era, I think is when he started being in the military, and he just stayed in. Yeah. So anyway, but he told me about being in the Navy, and he told me, okay, I'm gonna just say this. He told me that when you're in the middle of the ocean, like the middle of the ocean, not near land in any way, and it's nighttime and there's a storm, there can be these huge, massive waves that are like 100 feet tall and whatever, but that at night, in the middle of the ocean when you're nowhere, like these massive 100-foot waves are completely black. And that just feels super Cthulhu to me. Do you know what I mean? Like you're in the middle of the ocean and some like towering onyx wave that's 100-foot tall is like looming over you. And that just seems very distressing to me. Like that just seems like some eldritch horror is all I'm trying to say. Like that just seems scary. That's all. Kuldrick says, many times the bad guys have better equipment than the good guys. Yeah. Scamanak's like, where'd the stars go? Oh no, that's a wave. Yeah. Barantor says, I was never on ship enough for that, but yeah, I've heard it's wild. Yeah, and Rissa says, yep, God knows what's down there in the deep. So speaking of which, I was chatting with Laugh Love Lindy, and Laugh Love Lindy asked me this question, and it's a simple question, right? It's a simple question. The simple question is, what's your favorite monster? Like, what are your favorite monsters, right? And the problem if you ask me a simple question is that it stops being simple real quick. Like, it's not like I could just say, oh, my favorite monster is, and I answer the question, and the answer is done. But the problem is that you're asking me that question, and then it stops being that easy of an answer. So like my first answer was vampires, I suppose. When it comes to like, you know, classic monsters, I think vampires. Mainly because I think I would rather be a vampire than like a mummy. I don't think I'd want to be a mummy. That doesn't seem fun at all. And I don't think most of the monsters I wouldn't want to be. Like I wouldn't want to be a werewolf, because werewolves are out of control. Like usually in werewolf mythology, like when you turn into a werewolf, then you just start murdering a lot of people, and it's not like you have a lot of agency over that, or you get yourself chained up in a basement for like the full moon. So it just doesn't seem fun to me to be a werewolf. But then also when it comes to being friends with these monsters, I just don't think you can be friends with a mummy. That doesn't seem. Pathfinder 2 added a damn fear entry in the new book. Oh, interesting. Everyone's favorite monster is Godzilla. Sorry, that's the law. Your second favorite monster is allowed to be up for debate. Fair. So like we're talking about, like I was like, yeah. So then I was like, okay, you know, vampires. But then I realized that I had a second answer for that question that was not vampires. And I realized that it depends on what do we mean by monsters, because if we want to sort of move away, I would have to say the Loch Ness Monster would be my second. If we switch categories, like, so for me, vampires are clearly fictional monsters, right? Like they're not real. They're fictional monsters. But the cryptids could be real, or they could have been real. My favorite monster is either Mind Flayer or Beholder, which means D&D owns me. Oh. Kenny's like, excuse me? I like how Werewolf just casually mentioned were-sharks existing and then just moved on like this wasn't a huge deal. Yes. So for me, the Loch Ness Monster is a cryptid, which means it could be real. And I think of the cryptids, I think the lake monsters are my favorite. And I like them for different reasons. Like I like when I think about cryptids, what I like about cryptids is that they make me think about the world in different ways. Because here's the thing about, Nessie. So here's the thing about cryptids. They could be real though. And people are like, no, there's no such thing as sea, like Yeti or Bigfoot. I like that's up there with me. So here's the thing, people are like, oh, there's no such thing as sea monsters. Don't be ridiculous, right? Beetlewind says, I forgot the name now, but in Pennsylvania there's a cryptid that's so ugly it spends all its time crying about it. Yeah, right, like a lot of the cryptid could be real, and a lot of the cryptids are now real. Like, what I mean by that is, there are things that we thought were like not real, they were just like fantastical things, but then we're like, oh, no, wait, actually that's real. For example, and here's this, by the way, this is why I'm bringing up this story, because of what we were talking about with the ocean. For example, the Kraken, right? The big giant Kraken, the giant squid, and everyone's like, oh, that's not real. But there are giant squid in the ocean. Like, giant squid. Not like, oh, it's a squid. But like, 50, 60 foot giant squid. And I'm just gonna say a 50, 60 foot giant squid is a Kraken. So that's just true. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's just a true thing. Giraffes and elephants should totally be cryptids. And I think at one point in time they were. Skype like, I've been trying to get a rumor going that Bigfoot lives in a town near here. I haven't been too successful, but I have a lot of time. Yeah. The squonk. Oh, the squonk. Oh, interesting. Also, so like the giant kraken, that exists. Like, it's in the ocean. There's an oarfish that's 100 foot long. That's a cryptid. People didn't think that gorilla were real until like the 19th century. So there's another one. Elephant skulls are almost certainly the source of the Cyclops myths. Yeah, that's another one. Like the fact that elephant skulls are probably where we get the Cyclops. That's like, boom, there's another one. There's a meme about unicorns being much more reasonable animals than giraffes. What else? And so the thing about Nessie, because like I was a little bit obsessed with the Loch Ness Monster as a kid, is that the theory about Nessie that I feel the most like, I'm like, ooh, that's like the most interesting to me, is that Nessie was basically a dinosaur that was still alive. I don't know if Nessie exists now, today in 2020, but I am totally convinced that if Nessie were a dinosaur...
Somebody's watching me.
Ooh, I always feel that somebody's watching me, and I have no privacy. Whoa, I always feel that somebody's watching me. Tell me, is it just a dream? Thank you for the follow, supposedly. Welcome in. We are talking about cryptids before we play Wandersong. Oh, you're welcome, supposedly. You're welcome. You know, when I get a follow or a sub or bits or tips, I'm singing. Actually, I just sing a lot. Is what happens. That's what happens. Nessie was a coelacanth, like not literally, just a plesiosaur that's like the coelacanth. Yes, Krellin. Yes, that's what I'm saying, right? Because here's the thing. The coelacanth was a prehistoric dinosaur that everyone thought was dead, but then it turns out it's not dead. They thought it was dead like for a super long time. Oh, bits. Thank you. Hold on. Give me a second. Thank you, Rissa, for the bits. And whenever I get bits, I sing the song We're in the Money, as sung by Ginger Rogers in the film Gold Diggers of 1933, which means I sing it in Pig Latin. And so... Airway and hey, the anime. Airway and hey, the anime. Ivoy at gale, at way it wakes to ute it gale on way. Airway and hey, the anime. Ida I skays are ani say. Old man the 80
Name game.
Who throw you a stand way on rail. Ewe ever ne eat red lands lay, way at brands lay, ute day. And when we see the only or look left the eye, get right in the eye. We're in the money, we're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along. I love that. Oh, Wizard Styles, I want to thank you for the sub. You know what that means, Wizard Styles. That means I'm going to sing the name game for you. The name game. Come on, everybody. I say now let's play a game. I bet you I can make a rhyme out of anybody's name. The first letter of the name. I treat it like it wasn't there. And then a B or an F or an M will appear. And then I say bo at a B, then I say the name, then banana, fan, or info. And then I say the name again with an F very plain, then a fee, fi, and a mo. And then I say the name again with an M this time, and there isn't any name that I can't rhyme. Wizard Styles, Blizzard Styles, banana, fan, fo, Fizzard Styles, fee, fi, mo, Mizzard Styles. Wizard Styles, the name game. Thank you for that sub. Thank you so much. Woo. Wait, we're talking about cryptids right now. We're talking about cryptids. Carl says, except actually Nessie has been proved to be a hoax. It's just some dude's arm. But that's the photograph. That's the thing, Krellin. There have been reports of Nessie. There are a couple of ways in which people are like, oh no, it's a hoax because of X or Y. It's an arm, or it was like there was a submersible that looked like Nessie for a film that like got lost in the loch, and the loch has a lot of like the decomposition of like a lot of the stuff in the loch causes like kind of like a carbonation that causes things to like pop up to the surface. So people thought it might be that submersible that was the Nessie sightings. But the thing is, there were Nessie sightings for hundreds of years, well before the arm thing or the submersible thing. Like, the Nessie sightings have been like for a long time. So I feel like it's entirely possible that there was a plesiosaur living in Loch Ness some time ago, and by that I don't mean 50 years ago, but I mean like, 100, 200 years ago or whatever. But but that Nessie's dead now. Like, I imagine that Nessie's no longer alive, but I could totally think, considering all of the sightings that have been recorded for like hundreds of years, that maybe there was a plesiosaur in Loch Ness, but there just isn't one anymore. It's just like just a thought. Just a thought. I tend to whistle all the time. Oh, supposedly, I get that. Beetlewind says hippos should be cryptids. Here's a super lovable giant hug pig. Lol, actually, I'll bite you in half for shits and giggles. That's true. That's true. Hey, Eva. I'm not willing to deny the existence of any underwater cryptid. The deep sea be spooky. Shavai, I totally agree with you. I feel like the entire underwater deep sea ocean is just all cryptids. That's what I feel like. That's what it is. Hey, Origami and Virum. Virum says, just the things we know that live in the deep sea are spooky. Yeah, I don't even want to think about the things we don't know about yet. I'm just saying the deep sea is a little bit spooky. Aldrig School. Dinosaurs are dead, except sharks, coelacanths, horseshoe crabs, and every new discovery we get each year. Oh, there was turtles. Turtles have been around for like ages, like the big turtles. They're super they're prehistoric. What else? Not just, and gators. Gators are another one. Like gators, turtles, horseshoe crabs. There are like a couple other underwater sharks, sea things that like, I feel like we don't have trilobites, but I wish we had trilobites because that would be amazing. Beetlewind says, birds being dinosaurs is a whole lot less cool when you look outside your office window and see two seagulls eating out of the trash. Okay, Beetlewind, you say that, but what if those seagulls turned around and then murdered you with giant flaming shooting fire? I don't think dinosaurs shot fire out of their mouth, but it would be cool if they did. That's all. Coldrake says, it does make one think when all those ancient seafarers reported seeing giant whales covered in sucker marks, hence giant krakens. Yeah, right? Bigfoot is real. I don't care what photos say. Like, I'm just saying that these things... Okay, here's my point on cryptids. There are a lot of things we think are imaginary, and then we discover them and we realize that they're not imaginary. The whole point being that we don't know everything, and that some things that once we discover them, they're not exactly what we thought they were. Like, I was just reading a thing about the chupacabra, how they think that they might have discovered what it might be, a new subspecies of wolf. And I was like, oh wait, there was some like Tasmanian animal. What was it called? That could like, it was like a hyena, but it had like this huge weird mouth that can like open its jaws. It's now extinct because we killed them all, like in the 20s or 30s, but there's still photographs of them. Does somebody know what I'm talking about? It was a creepy creature that totally looked like a monster. After having chickens when I was young, birds being dinosaurs is totally plausible. This is Barator, yeah. Coldrick says, like crop circles, been reported for almost 100 years before two guys who claimed they did them. Yeah. Mermaids are real, and will eat you, probably. Wizard Style says, there would have been a population of them in Loch Ness, and I can't imagine there being there without definite proof. I can imagine all kinds of things living in the deep sea, though, yeah. Okay, look, it's also very likely there is no Nessie, but I'm just saying that if we were going to imagine there being a Nessie, maybe a couple hundred years ago, we could ponder like what that would have, like, I'm not saying 50 years ago, but like, 200 years ago, whatever. Like, it could have been like, there could have been a population that could have been slowly dying out and then they all died out. It could have been something like that. Could have been. And like the loch is super weird because there are parts of the loch that we haven't even actually mapped yet. Most of it we have, but there's like this kind of labyrinth part that's like super deep. We don't know. It's like there's certain like it's super deep in ways that we're like, that's super weird. Yeah, mysterious. Well, your turtle holds the world at its back. They're pretty old. Animals in deep water are just naturally huge, and there are lots of things in the sea we haven't researched a lot. Wizard Styles, that is 100% true. iShield says, horseshoe crabs are such an interesting animal. Their blood is blue, and their blood is used for antimicrobial properties. Ooh. Ooh. Beetlewind says, yeah, I feel like Loch Ness is too small to hold a population of larger cryptids. I'm far less skeptical about lake monsters in larger lakes, though. Yeah, I see that, Beetlewind. But here's the thing, right? The loch is super deep in parts. We don't even know how deep it is in parts of it. At least they didn't know like 20 years ago. I don't know if they know now. But like at one point in time, within my lifetime, they didn't even know how deep it was. And every time they sent down submarines in there to try to like do their thing, there'd be too much pressure. The submarines have to come up. Like, I'm just saying, like, mysteriousness. Wah. Horseshoe Crabla is worth a lot. Oh, that makes me sad, Baron Tor, because then that might mean the bunyip, Ava, the bunyip. That's what it is. Tasmanian tiger? Yes, that's what it is. Yes, the Tasmanian tiger. That's what it was. That's the one. Supposed Dadley says, there's a theory that the duck-billed dinosaur was a flame breather and that, like the bombast beetle, where they have two chambers of organic chemicals which they can mix to combust violently. Ooh, Supposed Dadley, I'm liking it. I'm liking this. Link broke. Ava, fix the link. Origami says, I kind of want to run a Kaiju Incorporated campaign set in the Midwest with Mississippi River monsters and Lake Superior monsters. Yeah, there's Chessie. I can't even remember the names of all the lake monsters, but they're like a bunch of lake monsters. Yes. Bunyip.
Somebody's watching me.
I always feel that somebody's watching me, and I have no privacy. Whoa, I always feel that somebody's watching me. Tell me, is it just a dream? Thank you for the follow, Kira858. Welcome in. Near the picture has a person in its jaw. What? Trooper, says Rissa, you started out saying you had some igniting news to me, and then you moved on. Oh yeah. Sorry. The news is that I unpacked a box. There was like a box in my bedroom of like a bunch of ties and bow ties and whatnot and all that kind of stuff. And so like I unpacked a new box. So that's one more box down of my unpacking, and I feel like I'm in a good momentum, and I feel like tomorrow I'm going to unpack 2 boxes. I'm just saying, it's really good. I didn't even know you had your own Twitch channel. I always saw you modding others. Oh yeah, no, I've been here. This is, I have been streaming for like 3.5 years, I think. It'll be 4 years in November. So it's like 3.5 years I've been streaming. Right, isn't that wild? It's crazy, right? One more box of, Ogopogo is my favorite lake monster just because it's called Ogopogo. Right, yes. And so like, and the thing is, I feel like, okay, work with me for a moment. Okay, no. I'm gonna say something different first. And this was about unexplained phenomena. Somebody said this thing I thought was really interesting, and they said that if, like, there have been a lot of witnesses to some weird stuff, and if those witnesses all said, we all saw John stab somebody, and then like hide their body, we would probably just arrest John if you had like 50 witnesses saying that John arrested somebody. But with like the unknown, we often don't believe people. And I'm not saying, now of course, witness testimony is super unreliable. We all know this for a fact, that people will often say, I saw John kill someone and it wasn't John at all. So like witness testimony, super unreliable. I'm gonna note that one. Yes, modding is a job. Yes, it's not unreliable, but it's not unreliable, but not 0% reliable. Yes. Well, you've been in the game for a minute. Thank you for supporting me. I appreciate it. We play video games here, and by play video games, I mean we chat and then we put the video game on, and then I wander around, and then we play. So the thing is, I actually think lake monsters are real. I don't know if they still exist, and I don't know what they are. It's entirely possible that they're a fish, or that they're like a seal, or that they're something. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was just reading about something that people thought was totally extinct, and it turns out it wasn't extinct. It was alive on, like, they found some alive on an island off of Australia somewhere. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying that they're like, we haven't been everywhere on this planet, is all I'm saying. Beetlewind says, Marty Jannetty flat out admitting to killing someone yesterday and no one batted an eyelid. Whoa. You made me play. Yeah, I did. I'm gonna play some because I want to do there. I think a lot of things are probably real, but we just don't know what they are. And I think once we find out what they are, then they don't seem as mysterious. Do you know what I mean? Kira says, you have any pointers for watching chat and painting or playing games at the same time? I wish Twitch would send a sound notification when somebody chatted. Oh, that's a good question. When I first, Sturgeon and Gar get pretty scary big. Yeah, Cold Drink. And those are just fish we know about, right? So I think, Kira, my tip would be, when I first started out, I had one monitor, and it was not good. And I had to try to have my phone or whatever to try to look at chat. So I find if you can do something that will allow you to have a second monitor or have the chat pulled up on somewhere else, is what I find. So for example, I have the Twitch chat right here on the, I have a monitor right here, right over here to my right, and I put the Twitch chat to the farthest left so that looking at the chat and the screen is actually, if I lean back, I can see both at the same time. So if you could I don't know, have your phone up with the chat on it and have that propped up so you could see it, or if you have some kind of tablet, or if you have more than one monitor, something like that where you can actually just make sure that chat is visible on a second screen that's at the same time is my recommendation. That's my big recommendation. I hit you with the drop kick, Marty Genetti. Trooper does it by not playing the game. I play it, totally. Spoiler, most lake monsters were real until, whoops, we dumped industrial waste in there, now they're not. That wouldn't surprise me either. Ava says, there are too many scientists who believe in Bigfoot for me to say he's not a thing. And if Bigfoot is a thing, then I can't disbelieve the rest. Yes. And the thing is, I don't know what Bigfoot is. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying that Bigfoot is a really tall person who's who's hairy. I'm not saying that what Bigfoot is what we think Bigfoot is. Bigfoot could be something else that we don't. You know what I mean? There could be a thing that is a Bigfoot or a Yeti or a Sasquatch, but it's not what we think it is. I think that's because I think we don't know everything, and sometimes we imagine things being things that they're not. And that's also possible. I bet Lake Baikal is full of freaky shit. Yeah, I'm just saying there are a lot of freaky lakes out there. Isn't there a jellyfish species that's pretty much immortal? How's that not a cryptid? Yes. Also, I was thinking about another thing, about creatures and animals. What was it? It was about things getting really big. Oh, yeah, ligers. Ligers are a thing. They're real. Lion-tiger hybrids, and they're 10 feet long. 10 feet is a story of a building. It's a whole, one floor of a building is 10 feet. And so there are ligers, and those ligers are 10 feet. That's a lot. That's not I've seen tigers and lions in zoos, and they're not 10 feet long, and that seems distressing, right? And people didn't think that ligers were real for a really long time. They thought they were fake, but then it turns out they were real. Just saying. Scabby Neck says, I think Bigfoot are just bears. They walk around on their back legs a lot. And if you catch just a glimpse of a bear walking like that through the woods, your brain is going to fill stuff in. Scabby Neck, I think that's entirely possible, because bears, grizzly bears are big. Actually, bears are big. Bears are big and a little scary, to be honest. Kira says, thanks, I have 3 screens and a Synctiq, so I'll know what to use the other screens for. Thanks. Oh yeah, no, my pleasure. And I don't know if you know this, but you can pop out chat. So normally the chat, if you're looking at Twitch, chat's on wherever it is, but you can, if you hit the little cog, you can pop the chat out into a separate window, which is what I do. I sort of pop the chat out and I just place it right where I can see it a little bit easier. Tends to be what I do. And then also it's just practice glancing. So if it's close, it's if the chat window that you've popped out is at least in your peripheral vision, because right now when I'm looking at you, I cannot read the chat, but I see it in my peripheral vision. So when new comments pop up, I'll notice a change, and so I can look and shift. And this practicing looking it's practice. Most all jellyfish do not die of old age. Oh, that's so weird. But I'm not saying Bigfoot doesn't exist. Right, I'm saying that Bigfoot might be a bear. Do you know what I mean? That's not the same thing as saying that Bigfoot doesn't exist. I'm just saying that people have stories about them, and they might be bears. I don't know. Ava says, lobsters die because at some point they stop molting, but don't stop growing. Oh, Ava, that's a little creepy. Ooh. Beetlewind says, I think with climate change pushing polar bears south and grizzly bears north, we're going to see a lot of more Bigfoot sightings as these species interbreed. Oh, I could totally see that. Wait, are you watching yourself on Twitch or using Streamlabs chat? Oh, so Kira, I will tell you my setup. This is what I have going on, so you know. I have 3 monitors. I have the game on this one monitor, my iMac, and then I have 2 monitors that are much like this is like a 5K, I think, which I cannot actually screen cap from really because that'll cause problems for RPGs. Then I have 2 other monitors on this side. The upper monitor is where I have my, what do you call it? The control, what do you call it? The stream manager in Twitch. So I have the Twitch stream manager up on top, and the reason why I have that there is so that I can see if my stream crashes. So I've got the actual Twitch up there in the control point, so I can see if the stream crashes or anything weird happens there, because sometimes the stream might crash and I wouldn't otherwise know. I also have the stream labels alert box up there on top now, although I don't really need it anymore because the stream manager is so good. The stream manager now has all the alerts, so actually I don't need it, but it's a bit of a habit. Oh, I know why I have it on there, because I can mute stream alerts if I get a huge flood of things. And then on this monitor I have OBS. I don't have Streamlabs OBS. I don't use Streamlabs OBS. I use OBS Studios. So I have Streamlabs OBS there, so I can monitor if I've dropped frames or if anything, or deal with volume, make sure that my scene transitions are actually working. And then I also have the chat on this lower one as well. So I have in the background I have so I have all of that. And when I do RPGs, when I'm streaming RPGs, I set it up differently because I cannot screen cap. I cannot do like 5 screen caps from the 5K monitor because it's too much information for the VRAM. So then I move like zoom and all of that to this monitor. I put Roll20 up there, and then I put all of the sort of logistics stuff on this one. So it depends on what I'm doing, but that's how I set it up. There you go. Let's see. Wizard Style says, adult jellyfish often have short lifespans. Their earlier life stage polyp is often long-lived, though. That's true for a lot of animals. Really long-lived early life stages that can endure even hostile environments until the time comes to grow up and procreate. Oh, that's really interesting. Wait. Who? Beetle wins? Beetle wins, you got timed out. No! Beetle wins, we're gonna make you a regular. We're gonna make you a regular, Beetle wins. This is what we're gonna do, because this becomes important. We're gonna make you a regular. It's I think it's add reg. Oh, Marissa, you did it. Thank you, Mod. And now you can post the link. Wizard Style says, I've actually heard that lobsters can die because they get too big. They don't age where they can grow too big. I would need to fact check that though. Yeah. So lobsters are technically, hey DSP, lobsters are technically immortal. They only naturally die because their metabolism cannot support their body size. Ooh, yeah. How big do our lobsters get? That's so scary. They don't have a closed blood circulation system, so there's definitely a size limit. Wow. Thanks for the input. Is there a reason you prefer OBS Studio over Streamlabs? Kira, that's a very good question, and I will answer that question right now. So the answer to that question is twofold. One, Streamlabs OBS was not available on Mac until just like a few months ago. So if you were on a Mac, you had to use OBS Studio and not Streamlabs OBS. And I know for a lot of people, Streamlabs OBS is simpler, I have heard. I don't know if that's true, but I've heard that it's simpler. But I also have heard that in the beginning, especially, it was a little bit unstable and it didn't have the ability to have, they might have changed Streamlabs OBS so it now does have this feature, but I don't know if it does. But in regular OBS, you could go into studio mode, which means you could have both screens up at the same time. So for example, if I wanted to do some changing around of like live, if I wanted to live change some things happening, I could change it on the screen that is not yet visible and then transition into it. So regular OBS gives you a lot more fine control, or at least it did, of the things that you're doing, what you want to do, and and it has always been very stable for me. And I know that some people have found Streamlabs OBS a little bit less stable. And so it just so that's why I've done it. That was why. Yes. So, I mean, some people, and I know some folks who, by the way, I'm copying this link location to see what's on there. So I know that some people have been really excited about Streamlabs OBS, but I know some people end up having some problems with it and then going over to OBS. I think it's fine. What is this? The Piliga. Wait, what is this? Visit any Australian truckers forum and search for Piliga. You'll see a word with stories of Min lights. Oh. Vicious unseen creatures ruin a common sight reported by truck drivers that of small lights traveling at high speed through trees, keeping pace with the trucks, sometimes at ground level, others rising high above the trees. Others talk about localized windstorms, like mini hurricanes. Oh my gosh. Well, this is scary. What? What do you think it is? What do you think this is? Oh. This is a phone into a radio about a cryptid encounter on one of Australia's most haunted roads. Wow. Turns out the U.S. has its own handful of Nessie equivalents. Alti, Georgia, Bessie, Lake Erie, Lake Champlain, giant salamanders, California. Also Chessie in Lake Chesapeake Bay. There's that one. According to GBWR, the biggest lobster is 44 pounds. That's a lot. That's a lot of lobster. The world's largest recorded lobster is 44-pounder, caught off in Nova Scotia in 1977, according to the Guinness Book of World Records. I don't trust Guinness Book of World Records to be accurate, though. That is fair. The cryptid I would want to see be Mothman or Southwest Thunderbird. Oh, those are really... Yeah, the Mothman? Well, mostly just huge wings and only eats fruit, so not really vampires. Beetleman says, well, the sound cloud at the bottom has a radio show calling from a dude who got ripped out of his truck by something and dragged off to its cave. What? So I was watching Rocket Fox, who's a member of the City of Light and Shadows cast. And she was talking about how she likes weird things. I was like, oh, I should tell you, I know weird things because my dad was really into weird things, like unexplained phenomena. And there are these two authors who were popular back in the day. I don't think people talk about them anymore because they're kind of older, in terms of time. No, I don't want to see the Mothman. I don't want to see it, but you know what I mean. Like maybe I'd see a photograph of it. So Alan Fort and John Keel have written a number of books, right? I think John Keel wrote the Mothman Prophecies, but he also wrote Our Haunted Earth, and Alan Fort has a book called The Book of the Damned. And The Book of the Damned is basically a collection of all these weird unexplained phenomena that have been reported like in newspapers, etc., and from people over time. And things like, for example, when I say weird unexplained phenomena, things like raining frogs. Like there's like a whole chapter on like things falling from the sky, like when there's like it starts raining frogs, or it rains like weird blobs, and everyone's like, or weird, it rains fish, and people are like, well, there must have been like a tornado that picked up all of the fish in a local place and then dropped them here, and people are like, that doesn't seem convincing. But like just like weird unexplained phenomena that nobody really knows what that was, and like nobody knows, like I don't know what it is, but like that's weird. Fish fell from the sky, I'm not saying like 2 fish fell from the sky, but like a lot of fish fell from the sky. Weird. I don't know what to do about it. Prehistoric insects could get really huge because there's more oxygen in the air. Wizard stuff, that's interesting. I kind of hope that there's a really big block of amber with a dragonfly the size of a toddler somewhere. Not necessarily realistic hope, but still, that would be cool. That would be cool. iShield says, I found random tidbits of information that has been Reddit, particularly the subreddit Today I Learned. I always got something that makes you go, huh, oh, I love that. Bermuda Triangles is odd too, yeah. Charles Fort. I think I might be thinking about Charles Fort. I'm thinking about Charles Fort. Alan Fort is a different person. What about all those feet being washed from the Pacific Northwest? That's another one. Beetle wins all the feet. Charles Fort. Thank you, Coldrake. It's Charles Fort that I'm thinking of. Charles Fort did Our Haunted Earth? Book of the Damned. The Book of the Damned. Charles Fort from 1919. It's concerning. So the Book of the Damned is by Charles Fort, first edition, 1919, concerning various types of anomalous phenomena, including UFOs, strange falls of both organic and inorganic materials from the sky, odd weather patterns, the possible existence of creatures generally believed to be mythological, disappearances of people, and many other phenomenon. The book is considered to be the first of the specific topic of anomalistics, and anomalies. So just like weird things like poltergeists, and just collected all those weird phenomena. I bet. Ooh, wait, guess what? You can get the Book of the Dead, the Book of the Damned, the Book of the Damned by Charles Fort for free from the Internet Archive. I'm going to give you the link because people might want it, the first edition, because it's apparently downloadable if you want to have. Oh, I should send this. And Bar Garwin, I should also send this to Rocket Fox. I bet she'll like weirdness like that. There you go. That's it. I'm sending it off to you all. So if you want it, you can have it. Yeah. There's this whole thing, right, about human feet being washed up the Pacific Northwest, still in their sneakers, just the feet, and people don't know whose feet, and there's like a lot of them, and they're not necessarily matching. It's not like you get both the left and the right from the same person. You just get these random feet. Atomica and a Bargarwan. Yeah. Beetlewind says, also, they once identified one of the feet through DNA and went to check on the person, and they were fine and still had both feet. Beetlewind, that's creepy. That's creepy. Scabbydat quotes, instead, several innocent scientific phenomena converge to periodically deposit human feet on the shores of the Salish Sea. Like, that's like, this is what I mean. Like, what, and like, personally, I think that these weird things happen is super interesting. And I think it keeps us humble. Right? Like, I think it's actually good for us not to think we know everything. No. I think it's good for us to be confronted with the fact that we don't know everything. Like, I think that if we can imagine that we know everything, that's probably not good for us. I think it's good for us to be like, I actually have no idea where all those feet come from. Like, that's weird. Or the story, do you all know the story of Caspar Hauser? Do you know the story of Caspar Hauser? I bet Coldrake does. Somebody might know the story. So Caspar Hauser, and like, we don't know what the deal was. Excuse me, Trooper, it's 2020 and everybody's an expert on everything. Oh, that's true, because everything is on the internet. Or is it? So Caspar Hauser was a kid that showed up in like Prussia, you know, what before Germany was Germany. He showed up out of nowhere, like super pale, kind of like an albino maybe. And he showed up and he had this letter saying that like he was like, it was some kind of weird thing that he was like looking for someone, that this particular soldier. Anyway, Beetlewind says, I know the story of Caspar Hauser because Dan Abnett used him as a reference for a 40K novel, bizarrely. Really? Oh. So apparently it's feet because shoes are flotation devices and bodies decomposing in the water just come apart at the joints. Oh, interesting. But then why don't we have, shoes. Yeah. But then like basically he didn't know what milk was, and like people thought that maybe he'd been held captive somewhere since he was like a small child. People thought that maybe he was like the illegitimate child of some noble. People thought he maybe could have been a con man. He was like super mysterious and weird. The person that he said that he like was supposed to be connected to didn't really exist. And then people then the assassins came after him and tried to murder him, and he ended up being assassinated. So it was like, oh, mysterious, right? Socrates, the only true wisdom is knowing you know nothing. One of my favorite quotes. That's great, because that is true. So, like, how, like, yeah, and like people who like disappear and show up in other places, people who show up like, but like there are a lot of like, thank you, Coldrake, the mystery of Caspar Hauser. And like maybe Caspar Hauser was like a con man child, a con child. I don't think we say con child. Or maybe Caspar Hauser was like a victim of, I don't know what, right? Like, I really have no idea, but that's interesting, right? Like, those things are interesting to me. Or there was Indrid Cold. I don't know Indrid Cold. How many corpses are in the ocean? Does anyone think about that when going to the beach? Maybe we should. Then there's all the weird stuff like remote viewings that are super detailed under very controlled settings, totally confirmed. Yes, that's a good one, Scabinak. Kira's like, that's one of the reasons why I stay away from the beach, as well as drowning. Drowning's a problem. Also, here's another one that I think is interesting. Okay, so like, I'm just gonna say this, and you can be like, what? No, what? Right? Just throwing it out there. And this one's out there, right? Like, I get that, like I get it, but I'm just throwing it out there. Coldrick says, one of the widely repeated conspiracy theory holds that Hauser was actually the rightful heir to a royal throne, secreted away for some nefarious reason. Yeah, maybe, it could be. The ocean of salt makes all the blood. Yeah. Baron Tor's like, there was The Unexplained with Shatner on the other day. I remember that show, and they were showing folks that could somehow feel color with 80% accuracy. Like, these things are weird. Tanaka says, I'm actually wearing a shirt right now that is a memoriam of a WWE wrestler that drowned earlier this year. There was the color sensitivity is more common than one thought. See, and here's the thing. I actually think. Oh, hey, do you want to hear a theory about ghosts? I'm going to tell you a theory about ghosts. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was an interesting theory. I don't know what I think about it, but I thought it was interesting. So, I was in Germany. There is the Königssee, which is this lake, which is near Berchtesgaden. It's like this lake, and it's in this cut, like it's like in a ravine, like it's in a like they're like cliff face walls. It's kind of like deep, right? It's deep down, and there are these cliff face walls on the other sides. On the Beast of Gavaudan is another cool cryptid. Oh. Probably just a large trained dog. There are some kids that could read books blindfolded through touch. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, Chad, yeah, that was such a sad story. The only positive I was able to save his son. Oh, actually, you know what they said? They said, gorge. Thank you, Baron Tor. It's a gorge. They said I don't, Naya Rivera from Glee, she died drowning, and her son was found on the boat like 4 hours later or whatever, which that is going to traumatize that kid because the kid's like 4 or 5. People remember that, but the autopsy came back and it said that basically what they think, because like she wasn't wearing her life vest, but he was, and people were like, oh, what was she doing swimming without a life vest? That's so silly, whatever. But what people think was that what happened was that, according to the autopsy or whatever, the investigation was that her son fell over. She went in to get him and was able to get him back on the boat, but she herself was not able to get back on herself right back. She was able to do that, so like that's sad. Colonel's like, ghosts aren't dead people, they're alternate dimension people. Color gives off faint heat or something, which is like how blind people sense color, something like that. Ghosts are nerds. Shad Gaspar, mid-card tag. Shad Gaspar, mid-card tag wrestler. And yeah, Coast Guard got to them, told them to find his son first. They found the kid, but then it was too late to get Shad. He washed profusely. Oh, yeah, those things are like super sad. Oh, so here's the theory about ghosts. So this river, this lake in the gorge. So this lake has a super long delay in its echo. Like when you make a sound and the echo comes back to you, it comes back really, really long. It's like it's not like a second. It's like 12 seconds or something. It's actually quite the delay. And so what you'll go out on the boat, and the boat person. You're not allowed to go on the boat without being like it's a protected lake anyway. But you go out on the lake, and this boat person, this is a thing that they have done for a long time. It's like a horn player, a trumpeter or bugler, maybe a bugler, and some kind of horn. And the horn player will play the horn, and the delay will be so long, the delay and the echo will be so long that the trumpet player will be able to play a duet with themselves in harmony, right? They'll be like, boot, it's like looping, right? Like do, and by the time the echo comes back, they're able to play on top of that. So why I'm telling you about this? I'm telling you about this because of this theory about ghosts, which I think is interesting, and I don't know if it's true, but I think it's interesting. And the idea is that sound waves never really, like this about the echo, right? Sound waves never really die. We can't hear them. So like things just no longer are perceivable by us, but right. So a theory about ghosts. This is a theory, throwing it out there. I'm not saying to believe it, but it's interesting. is interesting is that ghosts are actually just echoes, but whose delay is very, very long. It's like an echo of a emotional event or something. It's like a light sound, kind of an echo with a super long delay, so that like every 50 years or whatever, right, or however long time period, this sort of sound light echo comes back, and that's what a ghost is. It's an echo of some sort. And I was like, that's an interesting theory. Berenger says, they said they think it's because we have light sensing cells in our skin that help with our sleep rhythm, and some folks are more attuned to them. Well, that's really interesting. That's interesting. Oh, how about those twins that develop their, like, there's a couple pairs of famous twins that develop their own language, like their own complete language. Identical twins who like just develop their own language completely. I've heard about, like, that's interesting. The twins who develop their own language, that's an interesting one. What else is sort of interesting and out there? Yeah, adopted cousins, like, but it's like there's like a famous but it was because they were horribly abused. Yeah, and I don't know about those twins. Like, I think it's entirely possible. Yeah, they made up their but it's like a complete language. It's like a complete language with grammar and all of that. But Scabby Neck, I always wonder when you hear those stories about those, and they didn't speak to anybody. Like, they wouldn't speak to anyone at all in any other language that people could understand. And I actually think Scabby Neck, that they too were abused. It came out later that those twins also had been abused, but I don't think that had come out until much, much later. But they basically created their entire complete language. My cousins were locked in a closet and fed through salt. Oh my gosh, that's really awful, Scabby Neck. Yeah, that's freaking out. Not the abuse part, but the create your language. Yeah, and I think the thing is that kids are really interestingly, like, human beings are interestingly resilient, and they're able to adapt in these really interesting ways. And sometimes it's like making your entire language. They still have so many major problems. Yeah, and I think that sometimes we don't think about that. We don't think about the long-term effects of abuse and what that does to people. Yeah. I think about, well, I mean, I think also when you think about multiple personality disorder, which almost always happens when people have been abused, where they end up having these other personalities. But here's something that I think is super interesting about human beings, is not about abuse, but about human beings, is about the power of the mind. Like how powerful the mind is, in the sense that there are people who have multiple personalities, and everyone's like, people are like, oh, they're just making that up or whatever. But there are physiological differences between the different personalities. Like, there are some personalities who are allergic to things and will have physical allergic reactions to these things they're allergic to. But then the other personalities are not allergic to those things and will not have physical allergic reactions to those things. Like, some of the personalities are left-handed and can't do things with the right hand, and vice versa. Like, really, like the ways in which your mind impacts your body in these very intense ways. Jer says, bipolar guy thinks about long-term effects of abuse a lot. Yeah. I mean, I think that we often don't. I don't think that we know. I don't think we even know as much about abuse as we think we do. There has been some new evidence, by new I mean probably within the last 10 years, because I'm old, that trauma is carried down through genetics, so that people who've experienced traumatic events, the impact of that trauma actually changes. Because basically what I'm trying to say is that people like to say, oh, you're genetic, so that's like your genetics, like as if that's some kind of thing that's fixed. But epigenetics says that our DNA actually changes over our lifetime. Like, it's actually like things can change the DNA that we have, and that apparently trauma can change your genetics, and that genetic change can have, like, basically trauma can be carried down through generations, which I was like, whoa, I had no idea about that. Be right. Hello from Albion, New York, from the historic perfidious Albion. Oh, I want to thank you for those bits. I would like to sing for you "We're the Money," as sung by Ginger Rogers in the film Gold Diggers 1933, as a thank you, which means that I'll be doing it in Pig Latin. Yes, but Atomic says, didn't some scientists try to horribly experiment where they took a bunch of kids and sent them to isolation with a mute caretaker to see if language is learned from birth? Yeah, Like, there are a lot of super unethical scientific experiments. Like, also, like, what would happen if we never touched children? Like, super unethical. I'm just telling you, super unethical experiments. Yeah. Wow, so does that mean that being allergic is based on mental conditions? Asked Kira. Skymax says it's probably really complicated. And the thing is, I think the thing is that our body and our mind are, like, the mind is part of our body. Do you know what I mean? Like, what I'm trying to say is that we like to sort of think of the mind and the body as being separate, but the mind is part of our body, and I think it's super complicated. I have a story I'll tell you after. Like, they literally expect the French kid to just speak French, the Spanish kid to speak Spanish, etc. It was some, no, what? Oh my gosh, oh my god. Yeah, people are weird. The universe has see a potential. Our minds are capable of bringing that potential into reality. Yes. Krellin says, I think you're referring to how trauma can change which genes express. Maybe, Krellin, I think that's probably true. Yes. Yes. Known as soft-coded genetics. Yes. Yes. Right. There was some kind of weird thing about it. I was like, oh, that's interesting. So be right for you. Hey, FEXFO, how are you? I learned a lot about Renpy from your Limisoft forum post, and I want to say thanks. Oh, you're welcome. If you have any questions about Renpy, always you just DM me on Renpy on the Limisoft forums, because I'm still there. I visit every single day. I have not posted in a while because I've been moving and things have been a little bit of madness, which means that the game that I'm working on is on a slight pause. It's a little bit hiatus, but I'm hoping I can finish it. But I spend a lot of time thinking about Renpy, and I often will do experiments. Like, whenever a new thing will come out, I'll like look through the documentation, find a new thing that I don't know about, and then like do a test thing where I'll try to work out how to use it. So I do a lot of experiments. I practice a lot with it, and so if you have any questions ever, just ask me, and I'm really happy to try to figure things out and help if I can. I just moved, and I'm not completely unpacked, but I'm mostly unpacked. However, for Be Right. Irway and hey, the anime. Irway and hey, the anime. Eve way up, gay, lay up, way up, way up, way at, way x to ute, gay, lay on, way oh. Irway and hey, the anime. Either I skays are ani say. Oh man, the ADS and pray, we are a who, three, you stay on way on rail. Ewe every eat red lands lay, of red brands lay, ute day. And we see the end lord uklap the eye gar in the eye. We're in the money, we're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along. Woo! Yay! Yes. Sure, please. I mean, because look, when people, and I often answer questions on the Limisoft forums to things I don't know the answer to. If somebody asks a question if I know the answer to, it's really easy, I'll answer that one too. But if somebody asks a question to a thing I don't know, I usually take that as a challenge to figure out how to learn it, and then I'll
Name
learn
game.
It. Oh, hey, a sub, Fexfo. You just got a sub from Atomica, and you know what that means. That you actually may not know what that means. What that means is I'm going to sing you the name game. And so for you, the name game. The name game. Come on, everybody. I say, now let's play a game. I bet you I can make a rhyme out of anybody's name. The first letter of the name, I treat it like it wasn't there. And then a B or an F, or an M will appear. And then I say bo at a B, then I say the name, then banana, fanner, and foe. And then I say the name again with an F, very plain, then a fee, fi, and a mo. And then I say the name again with an M this time, and there isn't any name that I can't rhyme. But if the first two letters are ever the same, I drop them both and say the name like Bob. Bob drop the B's, Bo, Ob, or Fred. Fred drop the F's, fo, red, or Mary. Mary drop the M's, mo, airy. That's the only rule that is contrary. Fexfo, 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 Bo, Bexfo, banana, fanafo, Exfo, fee, fi, mo, mexfo. Fexfo, Woo! Welcome in and congratulations, hang out with us, you know. Wow, learning so much today. This is my first time seeing Pig Latin being sung. Oh my gosh, Kira, I have to tell you things about that. Like, oh my gosh, I have to tell you about Ginger Rogers. Coldrake says, research in animals suggests changes to the epigenome, a swirl of biological factors that affect how genes are expressed, can be passed down through multiple generations. They're not absolutely positive what happens with mice also happens with people, but they're still looking at it. Like, isn't that interesting? Like, that's so interesting to me, right? Like, that's fascinating. Kira, Ginger Rogers used to, before she was like Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire, she was on vaudeville, and one of the things that she would do is like sing popular songs in Pig Latin. Like, she was just like this expert Pig Latin singer. And like, she's amazing. And I have worked so hard to be able to like sing that song exactly how she sung it, because it's not easy. Since you pronounced this with the spaces, I have to hear this. Oh, no, I was, well, Fexfo, right? Yes. You're welcome, Fexfo. That is a heartbeat. So, my pleasure. Oh no, but like it's a like Fexfo is the name. We're talking about epigenetics. We're talking about trauma. We were talking about. Oh yeah. Oh, I remember. I wanted to tell you this. I had a story. I don't know if it's true, but this is a story that I heard. 2 stories. Before Ginger Rogers did everything backwards in the heels, she was doing everything backwards in the heels. In reality, it was Sinatra following Rogers backwards. Yes. The weakest musicians are the horn section, because those are the signs of a prey animal. Also, if you aren't familiar, check out Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire dancing. Is a great watch as well. That is true. Epigenetics was my brief part of my psych class in college. Oh, that's so cool. Epigenetics seem really interesting. Okay, look, so I want to tell you 2 stories before I start the game, and I don't know if these stories are true. Oh, it is like 7:30, so I'm gonna technically start the game. We're gonna just technically start it, because, you know, we've got to get our hour and a half in. Hour in, you know. On the topic of trauma and gene expression, they're also studying the impact of parental trauma on gene expression in children. Ooh. Interesting. Scabbynack says, that was from Rissa. Apparently there's a problem with lab mice because they've all selected for super long telomeres, which delays how many times the cell can divide before doing cell death and makes them more resistant to toxicity. Hey, but like, you know, look, the game is now on the screen, right? And if the game is on the screen, then you know that I'm doing it, because the game is on the screen. So that's just like, game is on. I didn't get the right link. I need the right link. Several papers came out in 2019 about epigenetics. Ooh, yeah, that seems like it's the new thing that people are talking about, and I'm really excited to learn more about human beings and people, because that's interesting. You know, like, I'm happy to learn things. Also, I have way too many tabs on right now, but it's fine. I don't care. All right, Troopers, says Kira. I have to get going. Oh. Thank you for being here, but I'm glad I found this channel. I can't wait to watch you. You can follow. Oh, before you go, you can find me. I'll be playing in Aether's Walkway, an RPG, at 1 p.m. over on Laugh Love Lindy's channel tomorrow. But at noon, you can find me here, noon Eastern time, back here playing the Outer Worlds. If you want to hang out, then you know. Yes. Fexfo is pretty much my real name. Fernando Xavier Fogati. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I like it. It's a great name. And this right here is what my 2019 Christmas gift is getting opened in Christmas 2020. If you don't actually take action the next hour, it doesn't count. I don't know if that's true, Rissa. I don't know. We will see you come back, Kira. As someone working in bioinformatics, I can say that epigenetics is very much still a hot topic. Ooh, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. I don't work on epigenetics data myself, though. I think that's really interesting. Trooper needs a hat like our musical hero is wearing. Oh, I do need that hat. Actually, I do not own a hat like that, but I was looking for one. I was looking for one because I thought I might need it for a cosplay for one of the characters I was playing. I was like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if I could get this is what happened. I was going to play a character in some RPG that I thought could use a hat like that. And so I was looking online for hats like that, and it turns out I couldn't get any in time for the show to start, so I didn't get one. But I want one really badly, just for the record. PH just finished Jedi Fallen Order. Fun game, didn't care for the ending. Oh, was it good? Was it good? Thank you. You just need a bunch of felt blanks, since a shaped circle of felt has been a lot of hats. Yeah, that's true. That's really all I need. So let me tell you these 2 stories. Oh my gosh. It's about the relationship between the mind and the body. And these stories may not be true, but I heard them, and so there you go. Like I haven't looked, I've not looked them up to see if I can find. I have not done the scholarly thing of looking them up and like finding a citation for them. These are just things that I heard, and I think I heard them when I was like in high school, like in biology class or whatever. I don't know. So I was told by my biology teacher. I don't know if these things are true. They may not be true. I really cannot tell you, but I'm going to tell you the stories anyway. Yeah, I thought the game was pretty dang good. Oh, I should probably try it. What's the plot for Jedi Fallen Order, PH? Did not match what your character was going for. Speaking of the RPG, the study of GURPS has officially begun on wealth. Ooh, I have a lot of things to say about wealth. We can talk about it if you want to. If I'd been given a choice, I would not have chosen that ending. Understand what they were going for. Oh, interesting. Okay. So look, the first story is about a man, a worker. He was like a railway worker. Don't trust high school biology teachers. I don't. Mine told us that bacteria wouldn't grow on unwrapped candy to prove how bad candy is for you. Yeah, I did, like, a lot of my high school science teachers said things that were just then not true. So I'm not saying these things are true 100%. I'm just saying that this is what I was told. I think it's interesting. If it were true, I don't know if it is true. I'm not saying it is. Jedi Fallen Order, you're the last Jedi. You are on a hunt for a map to other Jedi kids so you can rebuild the Order. Also, you and your pals work through trauma. Oh, interesting. Well, that seems interesting. That could be good. So, this guy was a railway worker. He got trapped in a refrigerator car. And, like one of those, the refrigerator rail cars? And so he got trapped in this refrigerator rail car. If this is about the guy that survived the railroad spike through his brain button to what massive personality change, that is true. No, it's about a different guy. This is a different guy. The plot of Fallen Order is basically a fallen hiding Padawan having to stop the Empire getting their hands on a data cron containing a list of Force sensitive children. Lights where shenanigans happen on the way. Understand completely, still not someone who's still not over the ending of KOTOR 2. Well, I see, Anil, I'm not over it. It's just that it's a cliffhanger and I need to know what happened, and I need to know what happened. That's what I need to know. And also I need Kraya to love me. So this guy was stuck in this refrigerated rail car, according to the story. And he realized that because he was in this refrigerated rail car, he was going to die of hypothermia, right? That he was going to die of hypothermia because it was late at night. Like it was like the end of the day, and he got trapped in there, and like nobody was coming for him, and like nobody would come until like the next morning probably. So he realized that he would die, and he thought that what he would do is that he would make his death meaningful for science. So he wrote on the walls of the refrigerated rail car everything that happened to him as he was like in the process. So he would just map out the stages of hypothermia. Like, this is what it feels like now. This is what it feels like now. Now it's like this. Now it's like this. So he's he writes down exactly everything that happens. And in the morning they found him and he died, and he'd written out all the symptoms and everything that he'd felt, before he died. And when they found him in the morning, he was dead, and he died of like a heart attack, I think it was. I think he died of a heart attack maybe. But the point was, the refrigerator car was not on. He should not have died. Like, there was nothing, the car was not on, he would not have died, but he believed that he would die, and then he did, right? Like, he believed so much that he was going to die of hypothermia that then his body died, right? And there was one other story that was similar, and that was of this like slightly older story where there was a guy from Africa who like went off to England, Oxford, became a doctor. He comes back to his where he's from, and some guy curses him. There's like a traditional like witch doctor who curses him to death. And this freaks him out, and so he starts getting sick and he starts dying, and they do all these medical tests on him, and there's just like nothing wrong with him physically, but then he dies. And people say he died because he believed he would die, and so his belief in death was so strong that he would die that he then died, right? And so this is sort of about like also like placebos, about the ways in which our mind is so powerful that it can cause physical reactions. And I don't know if those stories are true. They might be true, but we also know that people like have like the placebo effect does really powerful things to people. So that's interesting. Like, I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's not true, but I do know that but I think it's interesting to think about how powerful our mind is, you know? That's all I'm saying. PH says, now some people didn't care for the main character being a white guy, but to the game's defense, every other character in the game is not white, basically. PH, also Fallen Order, that was PH. Beetlewind says, also Fallen Order has the best droid best friend in all of Star Wars. Well, that's Beetlewind, that's a tall order. There's some very good droid best friends in Star Wars. And Neo says, but I need to be able to support Kreia completely, and the game was not perfect. Yeah, I appreciate that in Neo, because I love Kreia. She did not love me, but I still loved her. Whereas KOTOR ran into the best droid murder friend in all of Star Wars. That is fair. Krellin says, if you supported Kreia completely, she would unironically embrace the Force just to spite you. That's true. Krellin, I feel like that is really true. I feel like that is true. Jer says, psychosomatic responses can do some crazy stuff. Yeah, right? Isn't that interesting? Like, I think that is really fascinating. Beetlewind says, didn't stuff like this, but on the opposite side of the scale, happen in World War II and Vietnam quite often too, where someone only died when they stopped fighting and had time to notice they'd been shot blood up? Yeah, that too has happened, where people really should have been dead, but then they just didn't die yet, and then they died afterwards. Or like those things where like women who are not strong, like they're, there we go, who are not strong women, but like their baby's trapped underneath a car and they can then just lift the car. And like, that's like an adrenaline response, but like, that should not be possible, but then it somehow is. Like, our bodies are weird, everybody. I love it. Coldrick says, that almost sounds like the hypnotic suggestion, psychosomatic responses, where I could touch your arm and have a blister raise up in response to being burned by my finger. Yeah, and like, that's weird. But our bodies are weird, our minds are weird, and I kind of love that about human beings. I think it makes things. I've got a really interesting shadow. I look very noir right now. Yeah, like that's interesting to me. Sometimes people fall down when shot because that's what happens when people get shot in movies, right? But then they might not have, right? Yeah, I think those things are so fascinating. How our bodies, like how our bodies work and how they don't work. I always wonder about the aftermath of those lifting car stories, because I suspect the next day they realize that they have hell of torn muscles. Probably. I think that's probably true. Krellin says the human body only uses a fraction of its strength under normal circumstances. That's why chimpanzees are so much stronger than us, weight for weight, because their bodies do use the full strength, which can cause them to hurt themselves. Oh, that's so fascinating, Krellin. That's so interesting. They also lack our fine moral control because of it. More things. Speaking of World War II and Vietnam, actually this is actually about World War I. This is also why zombies are supposed to be so dangerous. They're no longer holding back physically because of brain damage. Oh yeah, we need humanzees. Also zombies, like the actual zombies, real life zombies from Haiti zombies, like that's a thing. Hey Schmelzer. Yeah, I heard somewhere of some Spetsnaz guy being hit in the head by a large bumblebee or something. It was a grenade. And because he expected to be shot, a bumblebee, an actual bumblebee, just dropped to the ground. Yeah, like our bodies are so weird. I'm gonna read this and I'll tell you another thing. I really like to go with the flow, you know? I make my potions fresh every day. I just kind of, listen to the universe and see like what ingredients it wants today. And then like I use those. Sometimes it gets weird, but sometimes I make nifty new discoveries. I think I'm really in tune with the now, you know? Like the whole universe, it's just like all of us in one big mushy pile together. We all mix together in like different ways, but we're all really part of the same one thing. I like thinking about that, and about all the ways all the little pieces mix together. That's why like making potions is like the coolest. Oh, okay, I love you. Do we need zombies? I don't think we need zombies. It reminds me of something I read on the internet. Gorillas are so strong naturally. Imagine if we taught one to weightlift. Oh, interesting. That seems like a safe way to make potions to sell people. Like, yeah, it's a potion seller, an unsafe potion seller. Aren't Haitian zombies just people who took some pretty heavy brainwashing drugs? Yeah, basically. And then I think also traumatized, right? So usually what happens with zombies is I think they, you give them super, super intense drugs. One question, how does Superman get so ripped? Farm work. What does he lifting to get those games? People. Like, I think they give him, like, they kidnap people, they give them these super, super intense, like, psychotropic drugs, like, super, like, intense drugs, and then they bury them alive to traumatize them for a while, and then they unbury them, and then they basically use them, for slave labor, right? So, like, basically, zombies are people who've been, like, heavily drugged up and then traumatized and then used for slave labor. So, like, zombies are real. They're just not, like, the kind of zombies that we think of. Yeah. So, nothing, Beatles. Yelson just incredibly inhibits his myostatin. So, they make potions here. That's your specialty, right? Ugh. More like my grandma's specialty. I just picked up some things from her. But we could never make potions like these. We just use what was around us in Delphi. But what's your specialty? I guess I'm pretty good at blowing stuff up with my fingertips. Oh, that's very violent, Miriam. Do you really like blowing things up? Well, yeah. It's really fun. I don't know. That's just what my magic does. But magic is so different here. Witches have all these different uses for it. They do lots of things with it. I feel so simple by comparison. I thought doing magic made me a witch, but we're barely even the same thing. I feel so different from everyone here. Oh, Miriam. Miriam. Yeah, the ghost friends in the mirror. The weird backwards mirror, non-mirroring mirror. Yeah. So I want to tell you a thing. It's about trans stuff, and it's really interesting. Why is the vampire girl from Adventure Time floating the weird mirror with you? I think she's hanging out. She's friendly. She's friends. My grandma's the only one who feels like home. We haven't talked in a long time. I keep wondering if she's okay. I bet she's worried about you too. Yeah. And I mean, you know, what if we don't make it in the end? What if the world ends? Last time I saw her could have been the last. I never thought about that. Well, I did. I think we'll make it back, Miriam. I guess I don't know for sure, but either way, you don't have to feel alone, because you have me. That's nice. Aww. That's the enemy country's princess's ghost, Beetlewind. Yes. Oh, similar terrifying torture. Anyone heard of liquid perfluorocarbon? No, perfluorocarbon. It can make possible to breathe underwater without gear. Oh no, wait, I think I might have heard about that when the movie The Abyss came out. They were talking about it. Our friends, they say, apparently got into the habit of tossing people in it, in the dark, making them think they drowned and died, then drag them out and then question them while they're confused and panic because they think they're confessing in the afterlife. Oh my gosh! Hey, CIA. Wow. CIA. That's, not at all, like, that's not... Oh, it looks like we're supposed to go that whole other direction? There's a map, and the map tells us where we're supposed to actually go. All right, fine, we'll go that way. CIA are jerks. I said it. Yeah, no, that's fair. So, look, I want to tell you something. Ooh. So, look, I want to tell you a story, and it's about transness, right? It's a story about transness, is what it is. We'll go here. Ooh. I don't know what this bouncing is supposed to do for me, to be honest. Well, let's go here. Oh, this is that gal who is super sketch. And I want to go here, but I don't think I can. Somehow, maybe I can, Why do we bounce, Master Bruce? The Abyss, yes. So, it doesn't look like this map is going to help me. So let's go, but apparently we need to get that way. How do we get that way? I don't know. We're gonna try other places. So, I want to tell you a thing that has to do with transness. Let's go this way. Yes, let's go this way. So there is a thing, and it's a theory. So it's a theory about transness. It's a way of understanding transness, which is actually a thing that really makes sense to me. Like, it makes sense to me. It's a way of understanding transness that makes sense to me. It is not the currently popular understanding of transness, depending on who you're talking about, because, you know, people are kind of, oh, hello, I don't know you, in slightly different space. Those arrows on the map might, oh yeah, no, but that's, when you do those arrows, then things bounce, right? That's what happens, things bounce. It's very cool. What does that do? I wonder if, oh, interesting. I want to talk to this person first, though. Okay. So let me tell you about it. The story. So here's the thing. This is a way of understanding transness, and it's very different from the current younger generation's understanding of transness, which is very, very different, but it is a way of understanding it that I think works for me. Like, it works for me. I think it's very interesting. Now, what I'm going to describe to you, some people might say mean things to me about it. They might be like, oh, they might call me bad names because it's 2020. People like to call people bad names if they have different opinions. So talk about Freud for a moment. Everybody likes to talk smack about Freud, but Freud did this thing that was really interesting. So after World War II, Freud was involved in treating people. Oh, sure. Let me turn that down a little bit. I'll bring it back up. I will bring it back up. Thank you. I appreciate you letting me know where you like the background. It is helpful and useful for me. I think I'll put it there. Yeah, Freud wasn't entirely wrong, just upset with penises. Yeah, and the thing is, Freud's actually really interesting because some of the things he said were actually really smart. And then I think some of the things he said scared him and he pulled back. Like, Freud's a mixed bag. Like, some of the things he did were very interesting, some things less so. And by the way, thank you, Rissa. Just let me know. And because the thing is, the volume varies widely depending on where we're at. And so you just have to let me know and I'll fix it. So Freud was doing work on, oh, and I'm going to tell you some other things that are post-Freud. Hello, Baron. We're talking about the bodies and like how bodies work and all that. And I'm saying a thing. It's a theory about transness, and I'm explaining this theory of transness, which works for me, which I think is very interesting. And I'm going to tell it to you. So it starts with Freud. So post World War I, Freud was doing a lot of work with soldiers who were injured in the war. And one of the things about World War I is that we had a lot of people who had massive, massive injuries. Specifically, like, psychoanalysis is a legitimately useful tool, though not in 100% of the circumstances. Yes, exactly. Also, I have a thought about Freud that this is my thought about Freud, and that is, I think it's entirely like, there are things that people say about Freud, like, oh, that's not true because that's not how people are. So Freud was wrong because Freud like observes people and he says people are like this, and everyone's like, well, that's ridiculous because people are not like that. I prefer Jung versus Freud. Oh yeah, I totally get that. Jung is very interesting. So people will say, but people are not like that. And the thing that I'm thinking is, this is my thought. This is a sidetrack from the thing I want to tell you. And one of the things I think maybe we could ponder is that maybe people are not psychologically timeless. That maybe not all people because like when we're doing like psychology and all that stuff, we like to treat it like as if it were some kind of like objective science, and that like this is how brains work, and this is how they've always worked, and this is how it always will work. Like, this is how, like I have friends who do some of this work, and like some of them, like, they really get into this sort of sense of like, oh, we can understand how the brain works. This is how it works. We've done our studies, and this is how it works. But I would like to posit, and other people have brought this up, that there's a problem with a lot of our psychological work, and that the weird problem, which is white, white, educated, something, basically, we tend to do our psychological experiments on college students, and we tend to do them almost always on the same demographic, so we get these theories of the mind, which may not actually be applicable. Western, it's not white, it's Western educated, what is it? Oh my gosh. Weird. Hold on. Weird. Western educated, industrialized, rich, democratic countries, right? So that we, there's also the replication problem, yes. We tend to do our psychological studies on people from Western educated, industrialized, rich, democratic countries, and that might be a problem in that actually may not apply to other people so much. Yes. And the thing that I would posit is that people make fun of Freud. They're like, oh, Freud said that people were like obsessed with edible complexes and da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and that's so ridiculous because that's not true. And the thing that I'm thinking of is, what if it actually was true for upper middle class Viennesian people at the turn of the century? Right, like, because I think about the upper middle class Viennesian people from Vienna, the Viennese from the turn of the century, they were all reading like Greek mythology, like there was like a whole like new Greek thing that had been happening for a while. And also, if you read a lot of the material, a lot of the stories and literature written from that time period, they were kind of weirdly sex obsessed, actually. And so, like, what if what he was saying is actually not ridiculous? It's just true for the people that he was observing. Do you know what I mean? Like, what if it's not that he was so stupid and didn't know what he was talking about, but what if what he was saying is a true observation of a certain group of people in a certain time and place, but it's just not universal? Like, what if some of our psychological insights are historically grounded, culturally grounded? That's all I'm saying. That's like a possibility. Edible complex is the worst. Oh, I love to eat. I will eat it. A lot of people who criticize Freud's conclusions could probably do to read his cases, which he wrote down and are published. Phantom role booth. That's true. A lot of times people, like, we know the people he was studying from which he eventually got his conclusions. Yes. Edible complexes are the worst. That is very good, Coldrake. And the only other things too is that I think a lot of people actually don't know Freud. And again, I'm not like defending Freud 100% because, again, complexity, but a lot of US people that I know, that I've run into, who critique Freud, have never read Freud, right? They actually don't know Freud, don't know Freud's works. And one of the other problems is that American Freudianism, because Freud became very popular in the United States, were based on certain translations of Freud and not the original, and some of those translations are sketchy. So, like, I don't always know if our relationship to Freud is all that accurate. He was pretty rad in Bill and Ted. Also true of Marx, critiquing without reading. That's also true, Krellin. There's a lot of critiques of Marx without reading. Yeah, I never met Freud, but he does have an impressive collection of slips. Oh, his slips are excellent. Yes. And that's actually also true of Marx. And so I think that becomes a little bit tricky, that sometimes we get these ideas of certain things without ever having engaged with them directly, and also understanding their context, and that becomes a little bit tricky. Like, I think, so for example, and again, I'm going to get to the thing about Freud and transsexuality. I'm going to get there. One of the things I noticed quite a lot with, this is like a thing to think about, critical, like a lot of critical theorists from the 90s, like Foucault, Baudrillard, Althusser, like a lot of these folks who are writing a lot of like, critical cultural theory in the 1990s, I find them very depressing. I find them to be very, very depressing theorists. There's a lot of like, Baudrillard is like basically like where the Matrix comes from. Like, there's a lot of, I worked into something good. Hello, you did. We're going to talk about transsexuality and Freud, but I'm on a slight digression at the moment. And one of the things about a lot of those cultural theorists from the 90s, if you look at their theories, a lot of their theories are, we live in these larger structures and we as individuals can't do anything at all. Like, basically, everything basically sucks. That's what a lot of their theories boil down to in different ways, but it's about how like these larger structures, how like basic individuals can't change larger structures at all. And that's where a lot of this theory coming out of the 80s and 90s, that's what a lot of it says. And the thing is, I actually don't 100% agree with them, the 2020 theory. Well, it's tricky because a lot of those theories that you're like, oh, I don't know about that, in like 1990, you're like, in 2020, you're like, But here's what I'm going to say about their theories, is that I think we have to understand where they're coming from. And these are people, for the most part, who lived through the student revolutions of the late 60s and like this idea that we could change the world in this amazing way. Like, they really were, most of them were very idealistic and really thought they could change the world. Like, I mean, there were these riots in Paris. Like, I mean, a lot of them were also French philosophers who lived through these student revolutions in France in the late 60s, early 70s, and really, really thought they could change the world. And then what happened is that there was a global backlash, right? In the US, France, Germany, England, there was this huge backlash, and then all of their idealism got crushed, right? And then they start writing theory, right? So they start writing theory from a position of somebody who had been in this idealistic space thinking that individuals could change things, and then the system crushes them. And then they wrote theory about that. And I don't agree with them completely. I think they have some very smart things, and a lot of things I have to say are really, really smart, and I'm like into it. But there's a particular kind of nihilism about their theory that makes sense for them, but doesn't make sense for me generationally. Do you know what I mean? And so like, I think that we have to also think about theory grounded in the time and place and the experiences of where they come from. Like Adorno, who is like my nemesis, but also I use Adorno quite a lot. Adorno believes that basically all mass media serves fascism. Like, he does not think good things about mass media at all. For him, all of it is opiate of the masses. It doesn't matter how rebellious you think your media is. If it is part of mass culture, it is serving fascism, basically authoritarianism, right? They never talk about replacement, just yeah. They needed to work from within the system to weaken it, but they've done that. So what? Now it's weak, and we can push from the outside with different. Yeah, Krellin, and I actually agree with you. And like, my position is coming from a different space. Like, I actually think that, I mean, partly it's because my mother had to drink from a colored watering fountain when she was a little girl, and I don't. Like, I have seen a lot of change. I know from their space, they're disheartened, but the kind of change I've seen in so many different levels makes me know that change is possible. It's just really hard, right? But we can work. We can work these things. Like you know, I mean, Adorno is like really harsh. Like, he thinks that he's really harsh. All television, all music, with some exceptions. The stuff that he likes tends to be fine, but he thinks most of it is just actually conditioning you to be receptive to authoritarianism. Like, his view on most popular culture is harsh. It is harsh, and I actually disagree with him because I actually think that individuals can subvert things, that I think that larger structures are not omnipotent or omniscient, and that you can subvert things. However, Adorno was a German Jew in Germany in 1933. Right? You know what I mean? Like, the reason why he thinks the way he does is because of the experiences he had growing up. He lived in Germany. He was in Weimar, Germany, and it seemed great. And there was all this media all of a sudden, and people were watching films and listening to jazz and doing all these things. And then all those people who seemed so progressive and like, I'm listening to jazz, and if you listen to jazz, you can't be oppressive. And they all became Nazis. You know what I mean? And like, so for him, right, he saw all this media coming through and people like engaging with this media, and then he sees the rise of the Nazis, and the same people that marched to go see the films marched to go with Hitler. And then he comes to the United States because he has to leave Germany because otherwise, and some of his good friends, you know, commit suicide. It's terrible. Comes to the United States, and he gets to the United States, the middle of like the dream factory, Hollywood. He comes to the United States, and there's Hollywood everywhere, and then he walks right into the McCarthy era, and he's like, yeah, no, right? So for him, the experiences that he had, media is just authoritarian, and that's and I understand why he thinks that. Like, from where he's coming from, I get it. Like, I get it. But again, I come from a different time and space where my interpretation of what you can and cannot do is going to be a little bit different, you know? That's it. Jazz, hey, next of kin. Gee, it's almost like social progression without economic progression is unsustainable. Yes. By the way, we have a giveaway. Our giveaway is the game Life with Pedro. No, sorry, My Friend Pedro is the game. It is it's an indie action game, My Friend Pedro. It's going to be a giveaway, so just like say something in the next 5 minutes and you will be eligible for this giveaway, and then I will give it away. But what I want to do is I want to tell you about transsexuality and Freud after this conversation. Control is getting Alan Wake DLC. Oh, really? Ooh. Whenever I'm lost in Mohabumi, I always remember the 3 Ds. Down, does, D, open the map. Wait, that's not very memorable. Wait, how do I open the map again? Oh no. This is Gonzalo. Trooper, you never got to what you were going to say. I'm gonna get there though. Look at his visual cultural reader. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What button opens the map? It's down. Was it left? No. This is terrible. I wrote notes for all my favorite spell songs on it too. I need to find it. It's down. That's it. You just press down. It's easy to get lost in Mohabumi, especially if you're walking on the ceilings and walls. Sometimes I forget which way is up and which way is down. I need to figure out how to walk on the ceilings and walls. Wait, down. That's it. Does to open the map. I guess it was pretty memorable after all. It really wasn't. I've got to figure out how to walk on the walls. This is the thing that I need to do. I don't yet know how to do it, and I'm going to figure that out. I literally only know that I associate the giveaway game with a banana. Right, so here's the original tangent, transness. And this is a particular understanding of transness, which I have to let you know that many people will not like because it is 2020. And we're, so basically in 2020, there's like a whole kind of way of, a bunch of people in 2020 are against what they call transmedicalism.
Name game.
Oh! Excuse me. The name game. Come on, everybody. I say now let's play a game. I bet you I can make a rhyme out of anybody's name. The first letter of the name. I treat it like it wasn't there. And then a B or an F or an M will appear. And then I say bo at a B, then I say the name, then banana, fanner, and foe. Then I say the name again with an F, very plain, then a fee, fi, and a mo. And then I say the name again with an M this time, and there isn't any name that I can't rhyme. Hawkeye, Bobuckeye, banana, fanner, fo, fuckeye, fee, fi, mo, mockeye. Hawkeye. You know, it sounds like I'm saying hawk guy, like you're a guy with hawk wings, but I'm saying Hawkeye. But I'm just saying that I'm sorry that I made it seem like you were a hawk guy. But hawk guys are cool, right? They're cool. So here's the thing. There's like a thing right now, like there's a thing like people are there was like a Tumblr debate, an Instagram debate that I was not involved in because I was like, whatever, where like between like different sort of trans factions, and it was just like, whatever. But anyway, so what I'm going to say, I do not think is transmedicalist, so I don't think I'm a true scum, but it is a medical it's in a medical definition, a medical understanding of transness that makes sense to me. I also think that people can do whatever they want and can identify however they want, like whatever they want, like you do you, it's cool. So here is Hawkeye is the best Hawkeye anyway. map fractions run ruled. So this is an understanding of transness that is relevant to the whole conversation we've been having about bodies. So after World War I, Freud is doing work with soldiers, veterans after World War I. And he's working very specifically with amputees. And he is dealing very specific, because they called him in, because he's like a psychologist, to deal with phantom limb syndrome, right? So these soldiers who lose a leg, but can still feel the leg, can still feel pain in this leg. They can feel their leg. They have feelings in a leg that they do not have, right? Even when they're asleep, they wake up in pain with the pain in the leg that they do not have because the leg is gone. And so Freud was doing work on phantom limb syndrome, right? This thing wherein people feel limbs that do not exist. Sorry, you said Freud, and I tuned out. No, Freud. So then he came up with this theory. And I learned about this theory when I was reading a book by called it's by a trans theorist who's very good, actually. Yes, it takes time for them to learn that part of the leg is not there. Sometimes it never goes away. Yes. So I learned about this theory in a book about sort of like transgender theory, Sigmund Freud or Freud, and it was. He came up the idea that he came up with was the body ego, right? So he posited that the mind has an internal sense of your body. Like the mind has a sense of your body that is not the same thing as your body, that it's different, right? It's how you know, if you close your eyes, it's how you know like where your fingers are in space. It's that kind of a thing. And that there's like basically a mapping of your body in your mind, right? That like basically like there's like a mapping of what your body is like, which may not be the same thing as what your actual body is like. And so that when your limb is lost, right, your mind still has the leg in its mental mapping, and it may be able to change it or may never be able to change it. I get very, very occasionally little toe itches. I had amputated fusers. Yes, Beetleman's right. The pain with fentanyl is incredibly hard to treat. Yes. And so what? So he had this idea, right, of the body ego, he called it. So this other Jay Prosser, this trans theorist, was used that idea of the body ego to describe transsexuality. Now this is important because actually there's been some medical work that sort of corroborates this a bit. The idea being that, and this is also based on some scientific work, the kinesthetic sense. Yes, Krellin, it's the kinesthetic sense that in utero there are two different hormone washes for the little zygote in utero. One which people think sort of helps develop the physical body. One that helps develop what Freud would call the body ego, which is sort of like this sort of mental sense of one's body. And that those two, there can be something that causes those two things to not be aligned in certain ways. And partly this comes from the fact that there was a particular drug that they were giving women at one point in time that the number of the women who were given this drug when they were pregnant, a very, very large percent of their children ended up being trans. And so there's a thought that this particular drug did something with that particular kind of hormone wash. Anyway, so this particular idea of transness is that there is a difference between the body ego, the kinesthetic sense, and then what the physical body is, and that is what dysphoria is. It's a disjunct between the kinesthetic sense, the body ego, which is like a brain mapping of the body, and then the actual body. Steve Spider, we've been playing like so much, like you don't even know. Like we've moved like not 5 feet, it's been like 10 feet maybe. So like the idea that transness, like this way of seeing of transness is seeing it as like basically physiological, that there's like basically a difference between like the kinesthetic sense, the mind mapping, and the physical body. That's it. And that is one, and that like as a person who experienced dysphoria, that makes sense to my experience. I know some people do not like to think about transness in a medical way at all, or a physiological way, and they get mad if you do. And if that's not what works for them, that's fine. I feel like you can do whatever you want to do. But for me, actually thinking about my sense of body dysphoria, my sense of dysphoria as being a physiological thing has always made sense to me, because it has never felt to me like a psychological thing. It has always felt to me like a physiological thing. And that, so all the way back to Freud, that is a thing, right, that made sense to me. And I was like, oh, that makes sense to me. We're going to see if we can bounce this thing and get there. The closest I've come to experiencing that is when I cut off my ponytail off when I was still reaching it for months. Yeah. Wait. Oh, I mean, I guess that's fair. The background is different than the last time I checked. Yeah, it's totally different. I've been trying to explain something for at least an hour, but then there was a tangent. Yeah. Talking about your experiences does not invalidate other experiences. I don't think so, Carlin, but sometimes people get really mad about it. Like, I'm not imposing my experience on anybody else, but sometimes people get really weird about it. Yeah, people can't accept that. For me, they can't. Yeah, I mean, I just, like, look, people can have whatever, like, people can do whatever they want with their thing. Like, that is all on them. I'm just telling you how it is for me, and what makes sense to me. Okay, time to make the Thursday nachos. Kai Hawk, can I have some? Can I have some, please? Will you make? I want nachos. Although I ordered food already, so like at like 9:30, 9:40, I've got food coming. I'm letting you know. It is a weird mental feeling to grab for something that's just like not there, even though it felt like it was there. Yeah. I was actually thinking about. I was thinking about something. So I know a lot of people who don't understand transness at all. Like, they don't get it. Like, they don't. Whoa, don't wrangle with any of that. Like, they don't get it. They don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to them. They're like, they think it's made up. They don't think it's real. Like, they just don't, like, they don't get it. And I was thinking, oh, a hazelnut donut, Atomica. I want one. All right, that's fine. It's fine. But I was thinking about this, like, thinking about this in terms of like body ego, to use that phrase. I had a thought of something that might make it understandable to some people who are not trans. Some cis people might be able to understand it if I describe it this way. Tell me what you think about this. So it's hard to understand what dysphoria is like if you ever experienced it, but if we think about the body ego this way, there are people who are cis who do get a disjunct between their body ego and their physical body. I really want that hazelnut donut, I'm just saying. There are people who do have that. Oh, thanks. Hey, Desert Taco. And the example I can think of is when a person who is cis would have something, a similar disjunct between body ego and physical body is, are you ready? And not everyone's going to get it, but when you have a super big, rapid growth spurt. Like when you're in puberty, not everybody does, but like, those people who like, they're in puberty and all of a sudden like they grow a foot, like overnight practically. And those people very often will stumble a lot and will like knock things over and will like, and people are like, oh, you're just awkward. But what it is that their sense of Matt Mercer for some body dysmorphia without being trans. Yes, right, exactly. And like those people, they like their body has changed, but their internal mapping of their body is not the same. And so they try to reach for things. And but like their sense of like where their limbs start and end is not where their limbs start and end anymore. And so like there is like a real, like it's like they're like they will work, like they'll work it out. Do you know what I mean? They'll work it out. But like there's that moment when like you actually don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't know if anybody's ever had that growth spurt, but like I know when I hear people talk about having that kind of growth spurt. Yes, thank you, Rissa. We have our giveaway. I'm gonna give it. When you have that growth spurt, but body dysmorphia is a separate issue than gender dysphoria, right? Body dysmorphia and gender dysphoria are not the same thing. Those are different, right? They're actually different sorts of things. Yes, I had it with my overshot teeth. I had to fix before I was coming through my tristan. Yeah, and I think that actually that's really, and I think that's an analogy that I think might work for people that, because like I've seen people who they think their limbs are this long, but they just grew a couple inches and they're just an inch longer, and they go to reach something and they knock it over because they are not yet, like, it's not yet in there, right? The first tuba in high school had to wear a special shoe due to one leg growing a bit longer than the other. Yeah. And so like, I think that that's maybe one of the ways that I can explain it to people who are not trans in a way that, because I know a lot of people who are not trans who just don't believe that trans people are real, which is rude, because like, I am not the Easter Bunny. I'm like right here. I'm right here. But to try to, like, that seemed to be a way I figured that I could maybe explain it. Ooh, hello. Well, this is mysterious. Well, isn't this mysterious? Well, let's go this way. Yes. Are you sure you're right there, trooper? I don't know. Maybe I don't exist. Oh, wait, I was new to the giveaway. He's also a... Oh, that's so cool. All right, here's our giveaway. We're giving away Life with Pedro. My friend Pedro. Why do I want to call it My Life with Pedro? Why do I want to call it that? That's not its name. The name is My Friend Pedro. Why do I want to do that? Why do I want to do that? Krellin! Nightbot loves you, Krellin. Krellin, how are you feeling? Krellin, tell me how you're feeling. Would you like the indie action game, My Friend Pedro? My roommate is not trans, but has a significant amount of body dysphoria and a bit of dyspraxia. Nightbot still loves you. My new favorite trans experience quote is, I'm not the Easter Bunny. I'm just saying, like, I'm not the Easter Bunny. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't just say, like, I don't believe in trans people. Like, I'm just right here. I'm here. Like, just saying you don't believe in me doesn't mean that I don't exist. Like, you know what I mean? Part of this is why I dislike the pressure we put on teens. Like, being a teenager, this is Beetleens, is to suffer somewhat from body dysmorphia as well as a whole load of other stuff. And, also now study for exams that will affect your... Yeah. That's really hard. Like, being a teenager is really hard because you're going through all sorts of changes physiologically, psychologically, as if those things can be separated because our mind is part of our body, right? No, Nightbot likes to troll me. Action gives not my jam. Okay, that is fair. Hey, that thing you like, how are you? It only picks me when I don't want it. Beetlewood takes careful notes, not the Easter Bunny. We are as common as true redheads. We are. Redheads are real. Hawkeye. Oh, I think Hawkeye might not be here because I think Hawkeye went to go and get nachos. Hawkeye, are you still here? I think Hawkeye's not here. I think Hawkeye went to get nachos, so we've got to get a new winner. No, Hawkeye's not here. Hawkeye went to go make nachos, is what happened. I'm guessing there's only been about 10 minutes of progression. That thing you like, I feel like it's been like 15 minutes of progression. Like 15 minutes, I feel like. Maybe not. I feel like it's been more than... Rissa! I'm going to give you My Friend Pedro. Rissa. Jer says, so there's some studies that show that younger sons of larger families have a higher chance of being gay. Some psychologists theorize it's a genetic trigger, so less infighting roommates. Oh, that's so interesting. Oh, Hawkeye, good. You're hearing me. Good. No, Hawkeye is here. Hawkeye, you won My Friend Pedro, and I'm going to send you the link. I'm sending you the link right now. Yes. That is not the link. That is a link to an article about mice and epigenetics. That's not the one. Hawkeye, making the nachos. Sending it to you right now. I hope you like it, and you should tell us how it is. Yes. Woo. Okay. Rigged, I didn't win. There's no way it's been 15 minutes of progression. You spoke to a dude on a broom. I spoke to two people. I spoke to a potion maker and a dude on a broom, which I feel like is like 15 minutes. Hamburgers cooking on the foreman grill. Oh, wait, Hawkeye. Wait. Hawkeye, hold on. Do you cook hamburger on the George Foreman grill? Really? I have a George Foreman grill. So far, I've only used it for pork loin and chicken. Yes. So far, I've only used my Foreman grill for pork loin and chicken breasts. You can do ground beef? Really? Tell me more about this. And Miriam, yes, and we talked to Miriam too. So that's three people. That's three people. Yes. Wait, this is where I'm at. Oh, hey, Crit Twitch. Wait, are you judging me? Are you judging me, Crit Twitch? Yeah. I need to know about the hamburger cooking on this. Yes. I also cook hamburgers by George. Oh, so people apparently
That's about all you use it for. Yes, I cook lots of meats on it. I get the 93% lean. Steak does well on it. Huh. I cook bacon on my George Foreman grill so it doesn't splatter everywhere. Really? Wait, you can, oh, I think I'm underutilized. Wait, Barentor. I need to know about this bacon in the George Foreman grill because I like to cook bacon, but it is kind of a hassle. Do you know what I mean? So if you could give me information on how you cook your bacon on your George Foreman grill, I think this would make me very happy. Also paninis. Oh, higher fat content is a lot more cleanup. Oh my gosh. Never, Trooper. Don't put the grease down your sink. Yeah, Miriam said she didn't level up. That's not what she said. Steak, pork loins, and chicken cook real well on them. If you get a larger George Foreman grill, you can just use it instead of a frying pan almost completely. Oh. Yeah, unless you take care to make suet for the birds, might be good to get a leaner ground meats. Hamburgers can go on the grill, but I would go with fresh meat over lower fat content. We wind up with too much juice if we do an 80-20. Bacon is definitely an option. Huh, yeah, you just lay it flat on there and then cook it on high. Bacon is hard, I just don't like the splatter. How long do you cook it for? How long do you cook it on the George Foreman grill? You could use the stale bread to help mop up the melted grease. Oh. Oh, hey. Hey, look. There are people here. This is weird. This place is like, I don't think, where am I? That looked really weird. I'm walking back and I'm going to talk to the people because I want to know what this is all about. Also, there's something really like, I don't know about all of this, everybody. I don't know about all this. It's mysterious. Bacon grease and asparagus is so good. Huh. Until it's done, how do you, a quarter pound of burger is about 6 minutes. Remember, that's an opinion thing. Some folks like bacon floppy, like it more crispy. You have to watch it. Chicken breast about 10 minutes. Usually going in the Foreman while I make scrambled eggs on the stove. Yeah, that seems super practical. That seems really practical because I also like, here's a thing that I like to do. It's a recipe that I have, which I haven't made since I've gotten here, but I really should because it's very, very practical. If you quickly submerge the bacon before you thermalize it, it won't shrink quite as much. Oh, wait, so I submerge it in water? Really? Huh. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. You know when you're at that stage of tired where you don't feel it, but you don't want to do anything that requires effort? Yes, I do. Yes, I do that thing. You're like, I know it very much. Yeah, tell us more about the bacon. Tell us more about that. Crispy bacon on hamburgers, floppy with maple syrup for breakfast. Yeah. So this is a recipe that I have. It's really good. I like it. The recipe is, so you get 12 eggs. 12 eggs. You put them in a big bowl, mix them all up. And then you put maybe a little bit garlic powder maybe in there. So a little bit of garlic powder, some salt and pepper right in there. And then what you do is you get a muffin tin, one of those 12 muffin tins. You put cupcake tins, and then you put cupcake liners in there, and then you pour the eggs in each of the things. So you've got the little egg mixture in each of the cups, and then you put you take a slice of bacon, 12 slices of bacon, you crumble up the bacon, you put it in the cups as well, and then you put some cheddar cheese. You can put whatever cheese you like, but I go with cheddar. Put some cheddar cheese in there, and then you bake it in the oven. And then you have these sort of egg muffins, and I'll have 2 for breakfast. You can put them in the microwave, have 2 for breakfast. But then I made 12, so then I've got 10 more, put it in the fridge, and then I have a great breakfast that just takes 15 seconds, 30 seconds to heat up. So it's that kind of big food prep thing. So it's just a way to get a lot of food prep in, and it's a nice breakfast. But yeah, the breakfast cups. Yes. Breakfast cups. They're super practical. Hey, Mr. Valor, how are you? Let's see. bacon shrinking is more to do with the quality of the bacon. The more water it's been injected with, the more it shrinks. Oh, interesting. Hawkeye cooks his bacon in the oven, 400 degrees for 23 minutes. Oh, interesting. What is that like? What is that like? Like, I don't want to type, but I want to talk. Oh, I totally get that, the thing you like. I get that. I like it. I just like it so it's almost crispy, but it's still a little bit floppy. Yes. Yeah, just quick enough to add moisture to the outside of the bacon so it helps hold the already extant moisture in the bacon, thus mitigating the shrinkage. It's a life hack I learned a few years ago. Yeah, little mini quiches. Little make omelets. They're really good. I like them. Hey, I did that with little jars, but with my sous vide thingy. Oh, cool. Like little tiny frittatas. Like, they're really cool. I'm glad you're doing well. 1 hour is my takeaway with the breakfast cups. 1 an hour is my takeaway with the so like a quick soap and room temperature water. I'm trying this tomorrow. I should probably try that too. Quick and easy bacon grease stays on the foil in the baking sheet. Oh, that's that's good. Yeah, so like I try, like right now I'm not currently in a space where I'm really making real food. I've got there's like two kinds of food. There's food that you can make without really having to do any prep. Like I've got like yogurt and I've got sandwich stuff. I've got things that like don't really take prep. And then there's like food that actually takes prep and also a lot more dishes washing. And that kind of stuff I try to do more in bulk, like the breakfast egg cups or cook like, or do the George Foreman grill and then like cook 3 pork loins all at once, cook like multiple servings of rice all at once in the rice cooker. Like I try to do things so that like, what I try to do is because I'm single and I don't want to spend like an hour cooking one meal 3 times a day, every day. So I try to like cook 4 servings of something so that then I can just eat it 4 days in a row and I don't have to spend as much time cooking because it's like really a bummer. I do ribs in the oven. People think it's weird until they try the ribs. Ooh, Scabinac, you should put your recipe in our recipe section. Pancakes are the best low prep food. Beetle wins, I didn't know that until recently. I didn't realize that was a thing until recently. I started making pancakes, making like multiple not just one, and then freezing them in between parchment paper and then just putting them in the and then microwaving them. I didn't realize that I could do that until very recently. And so now I'm having now I can make pancakes. Like I'll make like, I don't know, 8 pancakes, you know what I mean? And then I'll have like 4 days worth of pancakes. Like that's like wow, that was like a revelation for me. I really want to start making some pancakes with cornmeal because I love cornmeal pancakes. Make your own waffles and freeze them too. Do you have the waffle iron part of the Foreman? I don't have the waffle iron part of the Foreman grill. That sounds like a thing I should have. That thing that says, oh yeah, I'm starting counseling soon. Oh, what kind of counseling? What kind of counseling? Food counseling? You could use the leftover bacon hamburger grease brushed on some thin sliced potato on accordion folded aluminum in the oven. Oh. Speaking of making Menade's food, I'm still eating off of that 7-pound loin. Look, it's all about practicality to me. Hawkeye says, the best camping breakfast, fry your bacon, then cook the pancakes in the bracing bacon grease on the griddle. Ooh, that sounds good. Nexerkin says, I make leftover pancakes into PB&J sandwiches. They're so good. Oh, that sounds good too. Ooh. Verum says, my husband made peanut butter waffles with some mix that was meant for waffle cones. It was delicious. Ooh. Oatmeal pancakes are, I'll post the recipe. Ooh, oatmeal pancakes sound really good. General counseling to deal with some, oh, good for you. You're starting counseling soon? That's great. I've got the counselor I have a counselor who's cool. I like her. The only problem is that she's in Massachusetts and I'm in New York. And at the moment, she's still allowed to therapize me because of COVID. But it's like there's like an extension. And when the extension, like New York State is allowing people who are from out of state to therapize you. I know that's not the right word. Remotely because of COVID, but that extension keeps running out and they keep extending it, but there will probably come a time where they will not extend it and then I will no longer be able to see that person, and that makes me sad. I like my pancakes super thin, so I spread Nutella on them and then roll them up crepe style. Ooh, that sounds fun. Hey there, bud. Don't be rude to anybody here. Mohabumi is a city of love. Well, I'm the only one who says that, but I'm gonna make it true by spreading love out in every direction. If everyone could learn to love and respect one another, the world would be a better place, bud. We don't need no war. We don't need no hate. Just feel the love. We've got a lot of hippies and Mohabumi is what I'm trying to tell you. Hippies and punk rockers. Mohabumi, capital city of hippies and punk rockers. That's what it's all about. Yeah, this is our hippie. You don't want to let dangerous Massachusetts ideas about mental health infect New York. No, that would be terrible. That would be terrible. It is all the crystals. This is why they're all the hippies here. It's all the crystals. The Asian town hippie who strictly votes Republican. Yep. He's wearing a tie-dye shirt. It's just right there. It's just right there. He listens to the Dead. Oh, and sorry, yes, no, you're right, Chromatic. Also goths. It's goths, hippies, and punks. Some folks will laugh at you for saying wild things, even if they're true. Especially if they're true. But don't let the world stop you, bud. Let your love grow free. Well, all right. Okay. Oh, it's you, the creepy one, who escaped from jail, stowed away on my boot, and snuck into my room and sang me a song. Well, how you doing? Break any more laws lately? Mohabumi is a most wonderful musical city. Hard to believe there are folks out there working to destroy it. Those monster-loving rulers frighten me so. Their jail must have been a nightmare. I'm sure you've seen awful things. No wonder you came out so twisted. Thankfully, the war hasn't reached us here yet. You've come to the right place to get away. But its shadow lurks close. There's talk of monsters in the forest. Rulers keep monsters of their own, too. Think that's a coincidence? We won't be safe here forever. She needs to calm down, maybe. Okay, it's 1:30 a.m., so I could go to bed, or I could eat an entire pint of Ben & Jerry's. Oh, Beetle wins. You could do both. Krillin says you should go to bed. What? Yeah, see, Anio has I think the more important question. What kind of question? what kind of flavor? What kind of flavor is this, is the main question. Also, what's up? Well, it's another day of war with Roll. Folks may not always talk about it, but you can bet it's on their minds. Heh. This is Mastanama. Everyone's stressing about the war, running around. But when you get to my age, it's no big thing no more. It's just life as a Chandeshian. Those animal lovers are scary for sure. I hear they got monsters coming after us, but I also saw the hero around here too. I think Aya sent the hero here to protect us. Aya's on our side, so harm will never come to us here. You know, again, these are all things I just don't know if they are true. I just don't know if they're true. But we're going this way. Also, this looks strange to me. Does it not look strange to you? Does it not look like I'm floating? What's, like... Right? I mean, this seems a little... Oh, hey. Okay, there it is. That might have been just a bug. That's it. That's a good one. You can always have a breakfast. Oh, that's true. Ooh, sugar price is probably not the best way to fall asleep. This is actually both actually is an option. Eating will keep. Oh, that's fair. That's all fair. That is fair. Breakfast ice cream is good. Is she wearing a mask or just like weird teeth? Beetle wins. This is my question. I was afraid that she had weird teeth. I was really afraid that she had weird teeth. That was a very big concern of mine. Oh my. It can't be Hala? Badria, how's the baby coming along? Hala, you died. I know. I was trying to make it less awkward, sis. What's going on here? I'm in this body. Hi. And we need to talk to Mom. But this minstrel doesn't have magic. The best we can do is sing the really old spells. The old songs? Did you talk to Amaris about it? No. I'm trying not to see her. I was hoping you could help us, Badria. Would that I could, Hala, but I'm not a scholar like Amaris. I don't know these things. You know she could answer the question like that. I do know one of the songs. The one that goes like this. Ooh. That was it. The one that lets us walk on walls. It's a handy one. But if you want to see Mom, You've got to talk to Amaris. It's the only way. Yeah, we will. I marked her office on your map, just in case you forgot. I love you, Hala. Please, don't haunt me forever. I'd be tempted, but I'm already in a committed haunting with this minstrel. I love you too, Badria. Give my regards to my niece when she's born. You know, sometimes I like to give them weird voices. Why is that? I don't know. Hey, Frozen Lagomorph, how are you doing? Okay, going to throw it out here, Ghost Lady. You should probably not be surprising your pregnant sister like that. I agree, it seems sort of rude. But, interesting. All right. Since she's a ghost, is she a hollaback girl? Yes, she is. And I just want to say that I appreciate what you said very much. Jer, you win. Also, I should look at the map. Okay. So I feel like we should probably head some other direction. Oh great, now the kid will be crawling up and down the walls with her arting up and it is true. What happens if I do this? Like, look at that. Did you see that? A thing happened. But I did. Whoa. This is very strange to me. I don't know what this is doing for me. It seems very strange. So we're gonna just pretend like that wasn't a thing. I don't know. Like, I don't know what that's about. Does that mean that you can walk on the... Yep. No? So look, there's like... I just want to walk on walls, you know? Like, I don't... Like, there's another one. So like, I feel like, no, I want to go back. So if I do this, for example, and like, how do I get to... Can I... Oh, apparently I can. Oh, but the thing is, how do I, okay, I think there's a trick to this, and, okay, the trick is that once you, jump up there, the directionality changes. So like, if I want to go up right now, I should not be going up on the joystick, the controller. I should be going to the side. And apparently I should still be going, oh, hey, whoa. All right, well, now you can literally think, what is a wonder wall? That's all I want to know. I don't know what a wonder wall is, and it really, like, why is she his wonder wall? It's not a trick, it's magic. Like, I don't understand the song Wonderwall. Yeah, I'm just standing here being cool and upside down. He has a ponytail. Hey, there's this beauty YouTuber, Sydney Black. I posted a video of hers on my Discord where she was talking. So what she does, she sits there and she does her makeup. Like, she just does her makeup and it's very beautiful. But while she's doing her makeup, she like talks about super intense things. And so she talked about the video I posted was her talking about skin bleaching and like the problems with skin bleaching and like what it is, how people do it, what's up with it. Like, she's doing her makeup and she's talking about skin bleaching. And I've been watching a couple of her other videos, and she's doing these videos where she's just talking about like, she's just doing educational videos that are about really intense things while doing her makeup. It's very interesting. And I just watched her do one on she did one on Rachel Dolezal, but she just did one on a thing that I didn't know. I didn't know about this at all. It's Britpop. No need to understand it. This woman, Elizabeth, who this is more recent, and she made a company, and the company was called Theranos. So she was this woman, sort of like good-looking blonde woman who went to Stanford and had these ideas, and she wanted to be a billionaire, and she had these ideas about like all these science ideas, and she went to her advisor, and she's like, "Hey, advisor, I've got this science idea," and her advisor's like, "That idea is not going to work. Like, that idea is just not going to work." And then she's like, "Okay, what about this science idea?" And the advisor's like, "Again, that is scientifically impossible." And so she went to a different advisor, and she's like, her first advisor was this like science woman, and then so then she left that science woman, so she went to some science dude, and she's like, "I've got these ideas," and he's like, "What a great idea!" And so he dropped out of he left Steve Spider's like the Theranos story as well. He left his job, his tenure track job at Stanford, and joined this company that she founded. She also was obsessed with Steve Jobs, and so she dressed like him or whatever. And so she just kept going to all these people talking about this thing. And Theranos was supposed to be like a genetic testing with only 1 drop of blood for like super cheap, and she got billions of dollars. Like, I think she got almost $1 billion worth of investments. And her company was like worth like $9 billion at one point. And she got all these like famous former secretaries of state and generals to be her board of directors. And she got all this, like but the thing is, it never worked. It never worked. Like, the thing never worked. And they even they even launched it at Walgreens. They launched the things there, but it didn't work. And so they would like do it, like they would do it the old school way, pretending like they were doing, like, it was this like wild scam. It was like this wild scam. Yeah. More or less wild than Peter Thiel literally being a vampire. Beetle wins. I don't know about this. You should tell me about it. Tell me about Peter Thiel literally being a vampire. Didn't she get jail time? I don't know if she did. I feel like she must have, right? Yeah, I mean, like, she just... And somebody was like, maybe she didn't mean to defraud everybody. Like, maybe she really thought this thing would work. And so that's why she kept lying about it, because... I don't know. Like, I don't know. But the trial hasn't started yet. Ah, yeah. Yeah, $9 billion scam. The trial hasn't started yet. I imagine this is not going to go well for her, is what I imagine. Yeah. Oh, so Beetle wins. Tell me about Peter Thiel. It's scheduled for October. Oh, do you think COVID's going to mess with that scheduling? Probably be white-collar jail time with lots of money stored in a Swiss account. Hey, Atomica, we're talking about scammers. The Theranos scam, where she wanted to do this thing and it just never worked, and she got like huge amounts of money for it nonetheless. And like all these like old dudes were like just giving her lots of money. You know, being a witch doesn't... sorry, I need a... You know, being a witch doesn't make life easy. I think about this all the time. I think ponytail guy voice. People think magic solves all your problems. Oh yeah, and she had this affected voice. She used this fake voice when she was speaking. She would deepen her voice. She'd like speak deeper because she thought it made her more authoritative. So weird, everybody. So weird. Beetleman says, so because billionaires are weird people, some of them have convinced themselves that if they inject themselves with the blood of young people, they can reverse the aging process. Beetle wins. What? Oh man, troopers ignored the game for so long, the screen flipped upside down and for something to do. Toad says, I mean, if I'm doing that level of scam, you better believe I'll put at least 10 million to an account for retirement. Yeah. Oh, blood. Ooh, injecting the blood of young people. That's what's her name? The Countess of whatever? There was that. I mean, Scientology is a multi-billion-dollar industry, so yeah, that's true. Oh no, she settled for $500,000 giving up all her shares. The trials for the rest of the company leaders. Oh, really? Oh, wow. So she creates this whole scam, and then she basically gets away with it by giving up $500,000 in all of her shares? Wow. And a battery. Thank you, Jer. Thank you. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, sometimes look at these people and wish I didn't have morals and ethics, because it seems so easy to scam people out of millions. It seems easy, but I bet it's not. I bet it's actually pretty hard to scam people out of millions of dollars, because like not everyone has done it. like, apparently she was very charismatic and she knew how to pick her targets well. And L. Ron Hubbard, clearly charismatic in certain ways. Bloody Mary, that's the one. But I have lots of problems. I wish it solved all my problems, says Hermes. When my girlfriend dumped me, where was magic to help me then? Why did she dump you? That's what I'm asking. I can fly and walk on walls, but women, I just can't understand them. Wow, Hermes, you seem like a piece of work. What's even the point of magic? You know, Hermes, I'm going to give you some advice. I got some advice for you. I'd trade it in a heartbeat if it gave me my girlfriend back. So, probably. I suppose I have to think about it. Yeah, so Hermes, here's some advice. If you're like, I don't understand women, I have some advice for you. Talk to them and then listen to what they say. Like you have a girlfriend, you had a girlfriend, you don't anymore. You could say, hi, what kinds of things do you like? What are you interested in? Tell me your thoughts and feelings, and then listen to them. If you want to understand, well, you can't understand all women because women are people, and they're all different. But point one, noting that they're people is a good starting point. And then, I don't know, talking, thinking about them as a human being, then talking to them, and then listening to them. Those all seems like good ideas to me. That's my advice. That's my wild advice. There you go. Okay, you know, she settled SEC charges. She's still on the hook for wire fraud. Okay, good. Social engineering is the biggest tool in the scam artist kit. It is true, Toad. Beetlewind says, like those bastards that were selling bomb detection wands to the UK and US military, and it turned out they were just an LED on a stick. Oh my gosh. I also think you probably have to be super bold. Like, I bet to be really good at being a scam artist, you can't just like do a little scam. You probably have to do like a big scam. Do you know what I mean? There we go. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I bet it would not really work to just do like a mini scam. I bet you'd have to do like the boldest scam, like selling the military an LED on a stick. Like, I think you have to do like that level of scam. Otherwise, people won't believe you. Do you see what I'm saying? Also, the controls when you're upside down are a little bit weird. That's all. The case of Elizabeth Bathory inspired numerous stories during the 18th and 19th centuries. This is Coldrake, one of our resident historians. The most common motive of these works was that the countess bathing her victim's blood to retain her beauty or youth. What is even the point of magic, says the man sitting on the ceiling. Yeah, Beetle wins. Toad says, showing interest in people helps you understand them. What is this hogwash? Women are interdimensional beings. Table, talk, unheard of. Those are the ones that seem to work. Carolyn, disagree. We hear about the big scams because they eventually get caught. The little scams we never hear about because they get away with it. I think that's true, Carolyn. But I imagine you probably need to be kind of big to get big money. Imagine the little scams I think happen all the time, right? But I imagine although maybe if you do a lot of little scams, you'll get big money. Yeah, but how do you keep your eyes from glazing over while your mind goes to wonder? Oh, Hermes. Yeah, I think little scams get you into trouble. You've got to go big. Power people would be embarrassed if it came out. Oh, that's interesting. It is called a confidence game. Really listen to not being quiet while your inner brain already has a rebuttal in place. Oh, yes, Coldrake. Toad says, I've been handling security at the startup I'm working for, and it's a process of getting people to recognize when they're being targeted by social engineers. Oh, yeah. If you're going to steal billions, not $20. Speaking of, I wanted to bring this up because this is very interesting to me. And it was about pretending like you're, how do I get there? That becomes a question I'm going to have to ask myself. How do I get there? Nope. So I want to tell you something awful. I want to tell you something awful. Why? Because I care. I mean, there are some questions about why I want to tell you something awful, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to tell you something awful because, can I do that? No, I cannot. How do I get there? How do I get there? Ooh, I have an idea. It probably will not work, but I'm going to try something. I'm going to try to turn off the thing and see if I fall that way or if I just fall. No. Why are you letting me up here if you don't let me go anywhere? The juicer guy got a bunch of money, delivered an embarrassing product, and got to keep it. Successful scam. Ooh, hey, hold on. Hey, everybody, I got a phone call. Give me a second. It might be my pizza. Hello? Pardon me? No. No, that is not right. I'm back. So you missed all. Oh, thank God. No. That was the pizza people who wanted to deliver my pizza, and they wanted to confirm my address, and they gave me an address that was not my address, and I was like, no, that is not my address. That is not where that isn't it. Nope. So I would like to go that way. I try. My pizza's never called me. It does not look like I can turn it off, but that's weird. Oh no! Wait! I have an idea. Wait! Wait! I bet I can't turn it off when I am on it, but I bet I can turn it off now. Or I can't. No. Oh! Wait a minute. I can flip them. I just learned something. I can flip them. So that means something. Can I jump over here? I cannot. Ooh. All right. Okay. We're learning something. Okay. All right. Now the question is, what happens if I flip it now? Nope. Didn't do it. So there's a mystery here. But maybe I need to learn a different spell first, is my thought. Do you know what I mean? Like, I might just need to learn a different spell. So, oh. This seems weird to me. There might be I bet there's a walk through wall spell. This is my guess, is that there's a walk through walls spell. Also, oh, hey, look, new people. I think they're new people. I don't think have I spoken to this person? No, I have. I think we need to go far to our left is what I think. Yes. Smash cut to pizza and a boombox playing Blind is Calm. Yes. Probably for bouncing. Didn't the pregnant lady tell you that you need... Yeah, I do. I need to get another spell from like the other person, and we'll find out. Oh, I'm so tired. I was up all night before partying. And then I had to work today. I think I'm starting to see things. You look like a happy green elf. Sananya, are you really here? You look so ridiculous. No, I'm real. Oh my gosh. I'm so embarrassed. Wait, that's exactly what a hallucination would say. Tell me a story, sweet little hallucination. I'm real. But okay, once there was a happy unicorn. Except the happy unicorn wasn't happy because, she lost her horn. Oh no. Yeah, so, she looked like a normal horse, but in her heart, she knew she was a unicorn, and her name was, Miriam. Oh. That's so man. So, Miriam the unicorn went looking for her horn. And You should get some sleep. Well, well, well. Well, well, well. Side set on a broom. Mm-hmm. I feel like we're going to just go around. It's fine. We're going around, and we're gonna just. Oh, hey. We could theoretically see. I think this is I think there's a walk through wall spell. That's what I think. I think there's a walk through wall spell, and we're gonna have to learn it from the person. And once we learn it, then life is gonna be great. These are my thoughts, and you can't tell me different. That's it. But Doctor, I am the Great Unicorno. Speaking of sketch-tastic things. I think we're going this way, right? Yes. Yes, we're going this way. We're going this way. There's a walkie wall thing, but I don't know if we should walk it. I think we should probably just check. Right, we should probably just check. I mean, just to see where it takes us. Oh, well, okay. Okay. Was Miriam a unicorn dreaming she was a horse, or horse dreaming she was... Look, whenever we say things like this, I just keep thinking about David Lynch. And I've had David Lynch on my mind a lot recently. Also, okay. Where's that? Oh, we were there already. That's not exciting. That wasn't exciting, everybody. We were already there. I'm not excited about that. Like, that wasn't exciting. Yeah, I've been thinking about David Lynch a lot recently. I just want you to know it. Just in case you wanted to know. Does David Lynch dream of normal films? I suspect he might. David Lynch is such a funny bird. Like, David Lynch is such a funny bird. Honest. I think that I need to... I think this is going to be interesting. Can I do this? Can I just, like, jump over here? Apparently I can. Can I jump over here? Whoop! Oh! It is very difficult, by the way, to... Left, right. It is difficult to do... Oh, nope. Okay. Which way? Left? Nope. Right. This is not intuitive, but we made it. Oh, there was a person over there. I feel like there was a person we need to talk to. Letter Goddess of Phobos. Does David Lynch even dream? I don't know about that one. My wager would be Hermes is the chap with the walking through song. Wasn't Hermes like a messenger in the Mythos legend? Oh, but I think it's like the third sister. Been watching David Lynch repairing shoes. Really, Beetle Winds? Can you tell me more about that? Can you tell me? So that's the new space, but I feel like there was a person right up there on the ceiling, right there, that I feel like we should talk to. So I feel like we should talk to them. Before we go the way we're probably supposed to go, I just think we should talk to the person who's on the ceiling. And then, You know what? No, I think I can just bounce a little bit faster. There. Yeah, so now, I should tell you all some stuff. So here's some things to think about. I'm gonna go a little bit longer because my pizza's not here yet, but some things to note. I'm gonna go a little bit longer, but at 10 p.m. Eastern, that's in an hour, I will be hosting Critical Role on this channel. If you want to left, right, nope, this way. If you want to hang out, if you want to hang out with us for Critical Role, you are certainly welcome, because we are a much smaller chat. And so you can hang out and chat. Look, there are places, there's like, I feel like I'm learning a lot about this place in interesting ways. So I'm going to be streaming Critical Role, is what I'm trying to tell you, in an hour. And I'm going to be playing this game for like 15, 20 minutes more, being all productive before my food comes in. Oh, what a feeling when you're talking on the ceiling. Yes. YouTube David Lynch Theater videos. He literally has a channel where he talks about stuff, and in one of his videos he repairs shoes. Beetlewins, I did not know this, and now I know it. And I'm very happy that I know this, because David Lynch is so interesting to me. I find him a little bit confusing, to be honest. He's hard to know. Oh, wow. He's a weird bird. Do you know what I mean? David Lynch is a weird bird. I respect his mojo, but he's a weird bird. I'm going to get nachos now. Okay, get the nachos. Hanging out with Trooper is always a good time. Yes, I think so. Should be getting Chinese food soon. Ooh, nice. So about David Lynch being a weirdo, you can actually read the chat being on Trooper's stream. Yes, see, because that's why I started hosting it myself, because I just couldn't chat with anybody, and so that was really frustrating. And they still get views, but he's a weird bird because he's a human, not a dinosaur. Yeah, that's true, actually. That's true. The thing about him is that I was reading up on Inland Empire, because I was talking about Inland Empire over on Rocket Fox's Discord. And Inland Empire was a film he made. Let me do this first, and then I'll do it while we're walking. I love living upside down. Wait, no. It's the rest of the world that's upside down. I'm one of the few right side up ones. Some folks don't like being on the ceiling. You get used to it. Suits me just fine. But then, I may be a very upside down kind of a person. At least that's what all my boyfriends say. Okay, thanks for letting me know. Thanks for that information. Whoop. So, now I know. Would hot or brisket or flambéed foods be thematic for a Sierra watch of this episode? Ooh, that's a good question. Ooh. Well, there's a lot of boiling. I don't know, I think some brisket. Yeah, I'm with Hawkeye. You can never go wrong with brisket. I know a guy with a ponytail that she might like. Oh, yeah, I know a guy with a ponytail she might like, too. Yeah, that's one of the sad things about Twitch, where smaller streamers get big and then suddenly the community they built gets blown out by the chat becoming unusable. But then at the same time, it's awesome that they got big. You know, Beetlewins, it's so funny. I hear what you're saying, and I am in no way disputing you, but I want to ask questions. And the questions I want to ask are about kinds of streams? Ooh. Huh. There's something that other direction that I think we should probably see first. So let's do that. Let's do that. Wait, the film, they did a film that my fave skill, Disco Elysium, is always named. I have not yet played Disco Elysium, but it is on my list, and now that it is Mac compatible, I can do so. And oh look, magic. Oh, music. She has a spike through her head. Yes. The nachos are ready for you on Discord, along with a bottle of diet water. Thank you for that diet water. Trooper Monkey says he needs to eat now, so you should think about wrapping up the stream time in the next 20 minutes. Oh no, I'm going to wrap it up earlier than that, I think, because my food's going to be coming at some point in time, and then once the food comes, then we're done. Especially. But here's the thing I wanted to say. I was thinking about streams getting big. You know what I mean? And how do I put this? I'm going to say a thing, and this is not like self-deprecating or anything like that, but it's just what I think is real. Yeah. Also, I need to remind me that I need to put out a long Twitter thread about demographic, about numbers on Twitch. It's now Mac compatible, so I can now play it, and maybe I'll play it after this one. So the thing is that most RPG streams are just not big. They're just not. Yes, Critical gets 50,000 people regularly, and Selbit, which is the Portuguese RPG stream, also gets 50,000 regularly. But besides those two, it's pizza. Besides those two streams, most streams are not like that at all. Very few streams even hit multiple thousands, and many of the ones that do hit multiple thousands are video game streamers who are doing an RPG on the side. There are not a lot of RPG streams that hit over 100. The vast majority of RPG streams are between 1 and 3 viewers on average. If you like the average RPG stream, 1 through 5. I'm gonna crunch the actual numbers so I can give you the actual numbers. Most RPG streams have fewer viewers than players. That's true. Gotta catch Art Reel for CR2. Yes. And the thing is, most people think, oh no, my stream is so small. My stream is so small, right? But actually, your stream is probably not that small compared to in the RPG realm. Right now, City of Light and Shadows has been averaging 30, between 25 and 35 viewers, which makes us really big. We regularly get on the top 50 of the tabletop RPG category. So that's huge. Hyper is a big RPG channel, but they get 200 and 500 on average, rarely 1K. Yeah, right? And they're a big channel. Exactly. And Girl Scouts Glory had several under 100 per stream in their day. Yeah, and again, several hundred makes you huge, right? That's if you're getting several hundred, you're really, really big for RPG streams. There's 1 through 5, then some are 30 to 50, then there's 1 or 2 big boys, right? Yeah. To get more than 20 is really, really big. What numbers do you have for City of Light and Shadow or Night Witches? I can tell you, Encounter Roleplay used to do, but they have gone down. Yeah, I can actually tell you, Coldrake, but to do that, I need to get access to my desktop because I actually keep records of all of those things. Where do I put it? It's probably here. Speaking of which, I need to go and actually I'm mostly in the 30s, but I can give you the actual numbers. The actual numbers are, give me a second, where is it? City of Light and Shadow alias tracking numbers, because I actually track all my numbers. I actually also tracked all the numbers for Night Witches as well, because I thought it might be important to have those numbers. Where is it? No, cancel. Give me a second and I'll tell you. Because I wanted to, basically I thought it was really important to track the numbers because I wanted, the name game. Come on everybody. Oh, that's what's happening. I said, now let's play a game. I bet you I can make a rhyme out of anybody's name. The first letter of the name, I treat it like it wasn't there. And then a B or an F or an M will appear. And then I say bow at a B, then I say the name, then banana, fanner, and foe. And then I say the name again with an F very plain, then a fee, fi, and a mo. And then I say the name again with an M this time, and there isn't any name that I can't rhyme. Half-house hermit, half-house hermit, half-house hermit, bo half-house hermit, banana, fanner, fo, half-house hermit, fee, fi, mo, half-house hermit. Half-house hermit. That's a hard name. That's a hard name. Thank you so much for the resub. 3 months. That's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you so much. I started doing all the tracking numbers for Night Witches because I wanted to show that Night Witches was doing well for Geek Space TV, so that maybe we could do a second season or whatever. So I've gotten into a habit of tracking these numbers. Let's see. I remember Shroud talking about how streaming on Twitch works, and he was saying that to even get 1 regular viewer, it's true. It's a true thing. I think the Cole stream after the music college was around 80, yeah. If your actual plays any more than 30 viewers on a given night, you're doing really dang good. Really, and the thing is, I think that people don't. I can search a hermit. All right, I'll search a hermit. I think, and the thing is, this is, by the way, why I want to. I've just downloaded. I downloaded all the data for the Dungeons and Dragons and also the tabletop RPGs category for 30 days. I downloaded it like last week, but it's like 70 something pages of data, and I'm collating it right now. Once I finish collating it, it's a lot of like cut and paste in Excel. Once I finish collating it, I'm going to get the median and mean of the viewership, because I really want people to stop thinking that they're doing badly if they hit 25 people, right? Because so many people think that they're doing really badly. They're like, oh no, like my stream only has like 15 people. Like, why am I such a failure? I was like, oh my gosh, 15 people is great. It's really good. And I think so many people, yeah, like Hawkeye, I only get 1 to 2 during the week and like 5 to 10 on Saturday. Like, I think a lot of people really are judging themselves off of the wrong criteria, right? And first, they put too much stock numbers, but second, they're judging themselves off the wrong criteria. And that's not good, right? So looking at my numbers, my average viewers are in the 20s. So like the first episode was like 22, so we're looking like 24, 25, 24, 26, 27, 26, 19, 18, 20, 25, 26, 24. 66 was the episode after the musicology stream, and then after that we had 33 and 46. So like mid 20s, moved up a little bit. Yes. Let me introduce you to. Wait. What is that? What is this? Let me see if I can get that entire link. What is this? Wait. Oh. Copy. And also paste. What is this going to do for me? What is this? They put too much stock numbers because they're bad at statistics, yes. But I can't get partnered until I hit 70, and if I'm not partner, I'm a failure. Right? That's the thing, right? People are like, I can't get partnered until 70 if I'm not partner, I'm a failure. But the thing is that most people are not partners. Like, there are very few partners. You know what I mean? I got like 4 for my Lego travel build streams, and like that's really good. We're the Roaring 20s, and yeah, no, people in general are bad at statistics. Yeah, even people good with statistics can be fooled and not careful. This is true. Some people might stress about numbers until they're trying to monetize. Not sure it works on Twitch, but the thing is, even if you get 70 concurrent viewers, doesn't mean that you're going to be rich. Most people on Twitch are not going to be rich ever. Like that's just, you know what I mean? Like they've got some skewed expectations about what this thing is going to be. And Hawkeye says, yes, I'll say it, a lot of the gamers that get thousands of viewers are not being watched for their gaming. Most of the gamers, if we're talking about RPGs, the gamers that are getting large numbers of RPG views, often they're video gamers, and they're just bringing over like, basically, if you're an RPG streamer, you're just not going to get the numbers as a video game streamer. But that's just the thing. We're just a smaller category. We're not going to get the numbers. That's it. Do you know what I mean? That's it. I haven't used it yet. Oh, let me see what this is. Oh, Elastic Demo Gallery is a live read-only Kibana environment with a collection of little examples to let anyone experience the different features of Elastic Stack. Oh, an intuitive and easy way to visualize data using drag and drop experience. Oh, well, this looks interesting. Ooh. Well, that looks fun. I'm excited about that. We've been at 28 for a while here, but I'd expect at least mid-30s if we see what kind of pizza arrives, probably. I've seen data put in it, so, okay. What was the quote? 3 types of lies, dang lies, and statistics, something like that? Yeah. First day of statistics class, my prof said, you can lie about anything using statistics. Yes. Met women streamers. Oh, Hawkeye met women streamers? Oh, Hawkeye, the statistics, the data shows that women have fewer views than men do on Twitch. So, like, the idea that like if people are watching women because they're women and they're hot, then that's not actually working. Because if you look at the top streamers, they're all men. So I don't think there are hardly any women in the top 20 of Twitch streamers. There are not that many. So women don't tend to actually do well. Like being a woman doesn't actually help them. People think it does, but it actually doesn't. It is not actually true. And also they harass more, which I'm going to tell you about something for a second. I'm still amazed at how many viewers some people get that others do not, but I think a lot of that comes from being an OG streamer. Networking brings rage. Raiders are often AFK, and you retain those numbers. Occasionally, people leave channels without watching to support their friends. Yeah, it's a lot of factors. Yeah. Quick one, wait, tank talk. Hot day burner. Elastic Stack was my Toad the Wet Sprocket band's cover name. Yeah. They sure are promoted that way, sadly, but they don't actually. I mean, very few. I follow very few video game streamers because far too many of them have heated gamer moments. Yes, that's because they aren't like the cam girl and telling lies. I basically watch Shroud and Chocotaco because those two are not human. Yeah, they are not promoted that way. They're decried that way. That is true. You hear more bitching about them than anything. Yeah, and I think also one of the things is that. Mr. Vallis says, anecdotal, no one of smaller average viewers have to keep more mods than men with much, much higher. Yeah. And I think that's another thing too, that sometimes people, like I've seen this happen a lot. People accuse women of exploiting their looks when they're just wearing a shirt. Like sometimes you kind of just can't win. It doesn't matter what you're wearing. People will just accuse you of, you know, exploiting your looks for views, even if you're not, especially if you're busty. Like if you're busty, there's no winning, and that's like and it's just a way to sort of like attack women. And I was also thinking about harassment in the sense that let's note something on this channel. We've got our, like, we're not huge, we're like, you know, we're doing our thing, we're good. I have gotten very little harassment on this channel. Like, not much. Like, we had, like, one dude that asked me if I was going to sell him drugs, which was, like, whatever. Every once in a while, we'll get something here or there, but not much. C-Spider says, I mod for a woman cooking streamer, and ooh boy, the banhammer has to be at ready 110% of the time. Yeah. And just yesterday, some of you know, I was on Prax's stream, and we were chatting. We were doing our salon. We were chatting about everything in the world, and we chatted for, like, 10 hours. And, We've had two racist assholes, but that was it. But I was over on Prax's channel, and Prax and I are very similar in terms of our numbers, like in terms of like our band. You know what I mean? Like we're about the same. We're all like we're about the same. And she got flooded with bots saying "Shut up, woman! Shut up, woman!" Like flooded with bots, then flooded with followers, then flooded with hosts. It was like 5-10 minutes of just harassment from bots, and I have never had that happen on the stream. And I do not think it is a coincidence that she got somebody saying "Shut up, woman, you don't know what you're talking about," and she's a woman, and I have not gotten that experience. Like, and certainly I could get racist stuff because there are racist people out there and all, but like the women streamers I've gotten, like, and I mod for some women, and again, like it's just a whole different level of harassment. It's just a different level of harassment. And Riss is like, thank you for your mod service. Yeah. I know POC women with 100 average viewers who keep 2 to 3 mods on any given stream. I've seen with men with 2K average viewers with absolutely no mods. Yeah. I was leaning more towards how sad they get, how sad they get talked about and promoted that way in the press. Oh yeah. But I think for me, I don't see it as much in the press as I see it as in like social media. People like Reddits and Twitter and like that, because I don't see a lot of streamers talked about in the press, but I'd have to look more. Yeah, it was Scammers like that was so weird. It was really weird. That was a freaking awesome salon stream, by the way. Thank you. Like I had a great time. It was like 1,000 bots, and I was like, why is this happening? And that's the thing. Someone put so much effort into that. Like it is a little bit beyond me. Like first of all, I wouldn't even know how to do it. Point one, but also that was a lot of effort to do that. Like, why did you do that? You know what I mean? I remember having to ban him or several dozen for Prax one day. Like, that's terrible. Do you know what I mean? Like, why? The one that still amazes me the amount of trolls and shit in Tanya's channel. I was like, I know, seriously. I was happy I caught some of it this time around. Yes. And I think that for me, it's, like, and so I recognize, having been around, the kind of harassment that women get on these channels. And I also understand why a lot of women would just stop streaming, because they're like, I don't need this. And then that's what trolls want, right? They don't want women on Twitch. And And of course, I will also say that it is also true that I am rarely, and also, you know what? Prax was not in the just chatting category yesterday. She was in the talk shows and podcast category yesterday. And she went to that one because there's less harassment in talk shows and podcasts than there is in just chatting. But nonetheless, there it was, right? I mean, it's real crappy. Scabby Knack says, you see people post screenshots and talk about a woman trying to use her looks or whatever the issue is, but like I see women dressed very similarly in real life, and I don't think they're trying to exploit their looks. I just think they're dressing how they want, trying to live their life. Yes, they're just walking down the street. 9:20 p.m. You may want to park the game and then chat till your pizza gets here. That is what I'm going to do. There was that. Am I the asshole? Let me. I'm going to go in because we haven't talked to this guy yet, and Fernando, and we're just going to talk to Fernando. But I need to quit out of this game. Yes, because my food's going to get here. There was the Am I the Asshole post where the guy couldn't understand why his friend group was ostracizing him because he kept trying to nerd check a girl. A girl who was new to the group. Oh my God, yeah, I hate that. I think Tanya you're talking about. I think she's strip targeted. Yeah, I think she is too. Time to look out the front door to see why the pizza's in there yet. Well, I feel like it's not going to be here yet, but like I've shut the game down because we'll just chat and let pizza get here. And like I've seen people do that in real life. People sneering at women who come to the hobby shop for a game of 40K. Yeah, I've totally seen that. Yeah. You can't win. Look like you normally do. No makeup, no cleavage. You get the trolls calling you fat and ugly. You put on some makeup, wear a medium nice, but still casual stuff. Titty streamer, cam whore. Yep, half bars. That's right. You just can't win on that one. I feel someone found an exploit. I saw a similar follow spam on another woman's channel about an hour ago. Not the chat spam. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, because this was like both. It was like three things. It was first chat, then follow, then host. So there's some kind of exploit that's going on. Shavai says, I think sexism is an accepted part of gaming culture more so than racism. Yeah, both can be kind of accepted, but I think racism has to be a bit more veiled. I think that's also true. But I'm a white dude, so I could be 100% off base. Oh, Career 3, what is your news? What is your news? You have to say the news. Please. I saw that one Beetle win. Some people's children, yeah. And I think that, a girl and you probably play Eldar is a comment I've heard more than once. Or, wow, these are really well painted. Did your boyfriend do them? Wow. They're doing another drag show in late August? Oh, that's so cool. Is one of it's going to be streamed? That's cool. I think, and one of the things I think is really interesting about nerd checking is that it's stupid. And I mean, it's ridiculous. And let me explain why I mean it's ridiculous. Let me explain. So let's pretend that all of us here read comic books. I don't know if we all do, but let's just say that we all do. So we're all nerds because we all read comic books. I guarantee that each one of us could probably come up with some comic book related thing that one of the other us doesn't know, right? Like you can always find something that another person doesn't know. Always. That doesn't make you more of a nerd, because I guarantee that person who's like, I'm the nerd checking nerd, gatekeeping nerd checker, I know all the nerd things, I could find something he doesn't know. I guarantee it. I guarantee no matter how nerdy that one person is who's gate checking somebody else, I can find something nerdy that person doesn't know, because none of us know everything, and nerddom is super broad. Come on. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just ridiculous. Hawkeye says, nerd checking, what a farce. Yeah. Barentor says, there is a local gaming store that I won't go to ever again after how they treated my wife, but I think I've told that story. Yeah. Oh, you like football? Name all the rules. Oh, you like football? Well, then who was the starting player for the Harvard football team in 1911? You said you like football, but you don't know who that is. Do you know who the quarterback was? Do you know who the quarterback was for the first game of the Harvard season of 1911? You don't know. You're not a football fan. You're a fake football fan. Like, what are we doing? Do you know what I mean? What are we doing? Like, that's dumb. Then a lady who doesn't want to have cam on and people asking why not. Yeah, all the time. Yeah, it's just terrible. Nerd checking isn't stupid. Either someone has read every single nerd associated thing I have, or they aren't a real nerd. Yeah. Yes, the Haunted Vaults D&D game are my project, concept planning, organizer, marketing. Oh, that's so cool. Who's your GM? What's his name? Yeah. Tripper's a nerd? When did that happen? Didn't the guy nerd checking in that AITA post even get a question wrong when that female friend corrected him? Yes. People just like to harass women. Generally men, but not always, unless they fit their preconceptions. Yeah. You know, baseball, explain the infield fly rule in regular English. Please, actually, please explain it to me. Yes. And it's just, and I was, and it's crappy. You know, it's crappy. And I think about the ways in which, it's crappy. You know, like that's it. It's just crappy. It's bald-faced gatekeeping, and it's also not even interesting. You know what I mean? Like, it's also ridiculous. I was harassed when modding for Roll For It this morning. Really ruined all my day. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Courier. I'm sorry. Also, oh, it was their show today. Yeah. I'm telling you, you're not welcome without having the bravery to say it. Yes. And also, like, you don't get to decide that. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't get to decide if I get to read comic books or not. Like, you don't get to decide that. That's not how this works. Nope. Gatekeeping is just terrible. Hey, this person likes something I like. Best make them an enemy. People are genuinely crappy and need an ego boost. Yeah. Okay, Anthony doesn't think I'm a nerd. And, like, you know what I mean? Like, but the problem is that with comic books, it's not that big of a deal because I can do that at home alone. But it is a problem, which is why I will say, I just interrupted myself. I won't do it. Which is why I will say that I think, but things like RPGs or Warhammer 40K, things that you have to do with other people can be problematic because if the other people won't play with you, then it's hard. By the way, the name game. Come on, everybody. I said, now let's play a game. I bet you I can make a rhyme out of anybody's name. The first letter of the name, I treat it like it wasn't there. And then a B or an F or an M will appear. And then I say bo at a B, then I say the name, then banana, fanner, and foe. And then I say the name again with an F, very plain. Then a fee, fi, and a mo. And then I say the name again with an M this time, and there isn't any name that I can't rhyme. Hrothgar, but Hrothgar, banana, fanner, for Hrothgar, fee, fi, mo, Hrothgar. Hrothgar. Yeah. Yes. Thank you for that resub, Hrothgar. And this is when I reveal that I don't read comic books, and thus I'm not a nerd. Like, you don't have to, like, again, people can be nerdy in all sorts of ways. Coltrix says, aerospace engineer chick built her own canoe using wood planks. She was out paddling in the river, and the guy yells, cool, did you buy it? Nope, I built it myself. BS, girls can't build shit. And you're like, what are you doing, you know? Hawkeye says, I always want to ask those gatekeepers for their badge of authority and how many brain cells they had to check out from their library that morning. Yes. Like, who made you the boss, right? Since I'm not a nerd, I can now judge you all. Oh, thanks. Name game. And I judge you all worthy. Yes. Judge Nerd. Is that like Judge Dredd, but Judge Nerd? Coldrick, Itchin wrote a full breakdown on the mechanics of how she built her centaur bodysuit. Dude goes and does mansplaining on how it was built, even drawing a diagram to show how it was done. Wow. Be right back after I click my dinner. If Trooper ends the stream before I get back, have a good night, everyone. Okay, I mean, I'm gonna get a text when my pizza gets here. Girls literally build life. Yeah, women have laser eyes. They do. They have laser eyes. It's true facts. I was also thinking about, so that's the thing about things like RPGs, board games, card games, Magic, 40K, miniature games. Those things involve you needing to play with other people, war games. And if the club won't let you in, then it's really hard. And, oh yeah, Krellin could be dreaded, Jason. I haven't seen his eyes. I mean, nerd gatekeeping in comics is especially amusing in a way. First off, it's mostly Marvel and DC comics, not other comics. True. But also, you're supposed to know everything, except you need to hate the right other side of the comic content. Yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah, it's ridiculous. Oh, Hawkeye, how else do moms see what you're doing behind their back? Mm-hmm. And the thing about that, so I think a good thing about our current, some people don't like the whole online thing. And when the online thing first started, I was very skeptical about online games because I was like, ooh, can the online game really capture what it's like to be around a table? But you know what online games have done? It has made it easier for people to find people to play with. if they don't have local people who are friendly. And that's cool. Like, I am glad that more people get to play RPGs because they can find people to play with. Like, that's, and also, like, you know, like, that's really great. I think that's, like, really, really good. The answer is no, though. It's not the same. Man, I wish I could have cold breath instead of laser eyes. Oh, that would be fun. Girls don't play war games. That's because you won't let us. Well, it's more girls don't play war games. Well, yes, because you painted swastikas onto your army. Hey, there are female Nazis. I'm going to just note it. I have anxiety anyway. I don't usually go into physical nerd spaces without my husband. Being able to pick your group is the real tabletop all along. Yes, yes. Yeah, and playing with others is more fun than playing with yourself. In RPGs. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Although, but here's my one big pushback. And we talked about this a little bit on Praxis channel yesterday. There's a difference between gatekeeping and I don't want to play with you. And I do not think that people are obliged. And like this is like a tricky thing. Like, and this applies to actually a bunch of different stuff. I don't think anyone's obliged to play with someone they don't feel safe or comfortable with, or that they just don't like. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I do not like you as an individual person because, I don't know, whatever reason, then I'm not obliged to play with you in my free time. That said, if you don't like women as a class of people and you don't want any woman to ever play not only with you, but with anyone else, now you're gatekeeping, right? Like, there's a big difference between I don't want to play with you, play with other people, but I don't want to play with you because, like, this doesn't work out well for us. And I don't want you playing at all. And I don't want you playing with anyone. And those are different things. And it's important to just, you know, recognize those differences. Yes. No girls play war games. I guess the channel Wargamer Girl on YouTube I subscribe to is a scam. Maybe. Before the stream ends, question: how many boxes are still packed? See, Spider, I unpacked a box today, so I think I'm down to like 14. So I'm really excited, and I think I'm going to be productive tomorrow. I think I'm going to get some boxes unpacked tomorrow as well, because like the box I unpacked I was like not excited about, and so I feel like I'm getting momentum back to unpacking. So I'm very excited. Very excited. Yes. Scabbynack. Oh, so a local game store, which is staffed by unfriendly people, so a UFLGS, hosted a big multi-table game where they brought in a team of GMs. My friend who was able to go said the event was a lot more diverse than you'd expect, a very rural PA, and also people were very respectful and friendly to everyone. I wonder if that's my pizza. And a misogynist. Warm my frozen little heart. You know, and the thing is, I've seen better game stores now. I do note that 10% can, in fact, ruin the experience for the 90%. That's true. I genuinely believe most nerds and people are harmless and well-meaning. That is also true. I think so, too. But even being 9% of the populace, that 10% that are ass monkeys still stand out. And that's. I think that's true. I actually really do. I feel this way. I think that most people are generally good, decent people. But some people are not great. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they I don't know what's up with them, but some people, yeah, a partially open box like the ones on screen do not count. 14? No, I think I had 16, 15 the last time, but I'm really close. Yeah, I like my 50% rule. 50% of any group make life for it is for the other 5. Yeah. Hrothgar says, I made borscht for the first time in 20 years. It's amazing. I'm very proud of myself. My mouth is happy. Ooh, borscht. Ooh. Unopened. I've got like maybe 14 of boxes that even like that are I'm counting all the boxes, include like the ones that are not, like all the boxes are not boxes have been broken down. That's what I'm saying. Now, says Mr. Fallon, how many of that 85% are willing to speak up when they see the BS go down? That's a good question. Scabinak says, I think some people can't deal with their feelings internally, so they decide to inflict those emotions on others. I think that's true. I think some people are hurt. Hurt people, right? That's what I think. Getting Trooper to unpack boxes is gatekeeping. Yes. I wanted to say one thing before I get my food. I wanted to say one thing, and it was about, yes, game stores. Do you know what I noticed? This is really interesting. The game stores that I went to as a kid were, hey, Rissa, my food is probably almost here, is what I'm saying. I bet it's like almost here. So the thing I wanted to tell you is that game stores. So game stores, I remember when I was younger, why should Trooper unpack? He's moving again in a year. I know, but it's like my goal to unpack everything and then just pack it all up again. That's my goal. That is it. So great. Where's I delivered. So apparently, I think it might be there. So I got a pepperoni, but I also got a pizza cookie. So I got dessert. Do you like packing? I do not. I do not like it. I do not like unpacking or packing. Okay, so gaming stores when I was younger, I don't know if you remember this, they were like a little gross. They were like cramped, small, basement-y, very unfriendly, dark. Do you know what I mean? Like they were not very welcoming places in the first place. Most of the ones I remember as a kid were, I mean, like as a kid, I kind of didn't care so much, but many of them were not really welcoming, and they would have like these back rooms where people would play 40K, but you couldn't see. They kind of looked, they were like, they were kind of like, they're kind of like porn stores, like old school porn stores from back in the day, like where they'd have like pornographic videos, but they're all like, nobody would go in there, it was like gross looking. Private men's club. Yeah. It was totally like that. But when I see a lot of game stores now, they're often really open with a lot of light, like windows, people are gaming in the open, and so like I find them to be, they were super sketchy for El Santo, yeah, but I find the stores to be a lot more open now, and I think that a lot of people, especially after the Eurogame revolution, where a lot of people are playing Euro games now, people are now coming to game stores again to get their Euro games, and so I feel like the game stores are just more friendly to a wider group of people. But Beetle Ones is like, they're probably seedier than porn stores, though. I think that's probably true. Chromatic says, my favorite was a repurposed movie theater. The front was the store. The front was the store. The theater was the gaming space, lots of room tables. Oh, that sounds amazing. Yeah, the one my wife went to was very much that old school stores that opened up a little bit, but still has the same terrible people owning it. Yeah. Okay, look, I think my pizza's out front. That is my belief. So I'm gonna go and try to get my pizza and my pizza cookie. So this is what I'll let you know. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. over at Laugh Love Lindy's channel, it is the restart of we're restarting up after a break. Aether's Walkway, the sci-fi RPG run by Alice White Rabbit, and sci-fi using Cypher. And then Saturday you can find me at noon doing the Outer Worlds. Ooh. Come on in my house, come on. Come on in my house, come on. Come on in my house, I'm gonna give you candy. Come on in my house, I'm gonna give you everything. Anino, how are you? We're leaving. I'm gonna go. I'm signing off. But welcome in, Raiders. How are you? I wanted to say those are my socials, right? You can follow if you like, which is just put me down there. And you can find me here. I'll be streaming on Saturday at noon on my channel. Outer Worlds. I have to turn up the volume. Over on Love Laugh Lindy for Cypher with Alice White Rabbit, and I will be hosting Critical Role at 10 o'clock here. If you want to watch it in a chat that is friendly and not gross, this is what it is. Yes, hey, Cert saying it's so good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. It is nice to see you. I'm signing off because I'm hoping I've got pizza out there. I am hoping real hard I've got pizza out there. So I'm gonna go. So take care of yourselves. I will see you maybe in a half hour. I'll see you tomorrow, the day after, and I will catch you. Take care of yourselves. And Anino, I miss you. Anino. I just want you to know it. That's it. The reason it's not gross is because I don't talk a lot. Stop that. So I will see you all, and I will catch you all on the flip side. Take care, everybody.